Coach of the Casuals, grassroots to the league. This is Open Gym. We just had a good conversation. I'm going to roll to almost an impromptu question really quickly. I think that you kind of tossed something that was good. If you do have deficiencies, let's say on defense, quote unquote, you might have to hide a player every once in a while.
Yeah.
What are some go-tos defensively that you would do if you know you might not have the strongest defensive team or defensive players to where you might can hide a player?
Yeah. I've had to hide several players at my time, all the way back down to AAU. And generally, every team has an elite level shooter that stands in the corner in a lot of offenses.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
That guy who can't play defense, I'm going to sit him there because that guy has the less movement on general teams, and he's not dribbling the ball too many times. So generally, on every level, it is one of those guys that isn't supposed to do as much as the stars is supposed to do. So I'll line that guy who has a lack of defense on him, generally speaking.
Trey?
You was at my game. I packed it in. I packed it in. We had two guys that was big. One of them was cooking early, and then the other one, he started going. I was like, hey, we got to get out. We tried to go zero. That's our man. Yeah. But I was like, man, nobody's playing good help. And when he get downhill, don't nobody want to step in, take a charge. None of that. And he was getting like, give me buckets or and one. They'll swipe late, and they was giving the amp. So I started packing it in. That's what I do.
Are you saying like packing it man-wise, pack line, or you saying you
a zone 2-3 where I got 3 rebounders in the back and 2 guys, and I'm packing it in, and we might chase the 3-point if they skip it. You know, I'm telling the back guy to come out and get it while the other guy bump them down. But I'm gonna pack it in. That's what I did, and we was able to rebound and kind of control the game till our big fouled out. Yeah, so, I mean that's how you can hide guys. If we talking about guys that can't defend. We had like 3 players that couldn't. Yeah. So, you know, we got 2 that can, and one of them half can because he hacks all the time. So
and then another, to me, way is the trapping concept. Where like if you run let's say you run in a 13 or a 12, your stronger defender is kind of up top to where a lot of times, even if it's like say it's a guard that's not the strongest, they're just rotating to that corner. Per se, and then you just make sure that you know that on the full rotation they weak side for the rebound. Yeah. But the way those trapping things trapping defenses end up working is that the player doesn't have enough time to maneuver to isolate one player, and it's more like a system version of basketball.
So you're basically kind of speeding them up a little bit,
speeding them up to where they can't isolate them.
Gotcha. I got you.
In those situations, I asked the question because I see this as well. In those trapping situations. What happens when the rotations are 1, slow, or 2, you give a weak side rebounds because generally the guy who's crashing from the corner is a bigger wing and the guard just don't. So in this generation,
then you got stuff that kid out.
Yeah.
Like once you done hit him and like that's I think you got to take him out.
You got to get him out of there.
Like generally speaking, if that happens, switch your defense. If they if you're running traps, you kind of betting that the team isn't coached really well. If they coach really well, just no different than like if you're pressing. All you're doing is testing. I'm just throwing a little test. All right, you broke that real. All right, let me get about it. That's how I look at it.
Yeah.
Why don't coaches get out of it? Once they see a team, if you see a team
I'm gonna throw that to you.
Beats it, and frequently it's getting like either a wide open shot or a second opportunity. What makes coaches commit themselves to staying in it, and it's not working?
That's a good question.
That's a great question, bro. I think a lot of it has to be, it's also, I hear a lot of coaches say, this is what we do. I hang my hat on. I hang my hat on what I do.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So it's like, if I'm a pressure coach, I'm a pressure. You know, it's my big, after the game, you're always going to have the naysayers that go against what you do.
Yep.
You know, and it's hard, and you get to a point where it's like, you know, you can let it bother you or not, but I mean, you respect the opinions of others, but at the same time, if I hang my hat on pressure defense, communication, doing what we do, and we get beat, the teams get beat, of course you want to look at adjustments, but adjustments come with also the way you practice. Like I'm big on situational things. So in practice, we used to have like our last hour, I'm putting on the board 5 minutes up by 10. What y'all gonna do?
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? He'll take one team, I take one team. And now they're getting in the mindset of when we're in these different situations, it's not foreign to us, and we know how to adjust at the time as well.
Yeah, 2 minutes, you down by 3.
2 minutes, you down by 3. You know,
down
so
by 7.
Down by 7. Like
and the other team at the same time, you up by 7. How do you hold them?
How do you hold the lead?
Yeah.
Because a lot of teams actually, you know, I think that's one of the hardest things to coach against is coaching not to lose versus coaching to win.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And I've seen a lot of coaches this year lose games scared to coach to win versus coach not to lose.
Mm-hmm.
And it's funny to see it, though, but it's like, because I get to the point and I sit back and observe and I see the emotion the coaches go so high. It's like, yo.
Question on
Yes,
that.
sir.
I got a question on that one. Is it because they don't trust the guard?
Well, I don't think it's more so the trust of just one player. It may be the trust of, like, going back to like the initial part of the question. We know we have a weak link in it at that moment.
Okay.
We're not going to say a weak link, but a person who's a little bit less defensively minded. We'll put it like that, because I don't want to say no one is a weak link or anything like that, because everybody has a purpose in which they're showing. So
it's just not their strength.
Not their strength.
Yeah.
You know, at this moment, it's something they can grow into, but at the current moment, it may not be anything that they can really hang their hat on right now. So in a sense, I can't say it's that guard or anything like that. It may just be the moment that we're not living up to at that moment.
Okay.
Now, I'm glad you asked that, because that sprung up. You was at our Piedmont game.
Yeah.
So everybody know me. I want to ask, if you in our situation with that big, what do you do? Because we lost both times like that with that guy.
Pack line. Pack it in, bro. Like,
so was he catching it and then just
no, he was just like going,
he
bro.
was just the most athletic, the most.
Well, this is something that you heard echoed in the grind halls for forever.
Yeah.
I think I'm sure we used to say it at TU as well. Wall up. Like, kids don't want to wall up.
No, they don't.
Yeah.
But at a point, you got to wall up in the gap.
No,
like, if
right.
all they doing is driving, go ahead, rotate early, sit in the gap, and wall up.
Right. And they were scared when he got downhill. He seen it was like a man among his boys. Like, he just flipped the switch.
Kids don't take charges.
No, they scared. They scared. They scared to take charges, bro.
Yes, it's showing a different level of toughness
And I tell
grit.
you, on Friday, I seen a couple charges took.
Yeah.
And I was like,
Yeah.
like that's.
Yeah.
I'm not mad at that.
Yeah, I got a shout out. I saw that on tape too. North Mac did a great job of taking a few charges.
Yeah.
The other night that I saw during that game.
Nah, anytime you can get your players in the bind and taking charges and understand the gratitude of it.
Yeah.
It's bigger than just taking that charge. That's a turnover on them. Possession back for us. That's a foul.
Mm-hmm.
You know, then also it's a mindset.
Yeah.
Now, if I got a person that love to get downhill and take off and and they know that someone's going to be sitting there every single time they get it, mindset now is that they may start taking floaters. They may start trying to dodge around, and they're doing things they don't normally do. So taking a charge is bigger than just the play itself.
Yeah.
In that game, I can tell that was something that was probably on that scout report, because they was doing it a multitude of times only on specific kids that I watch. And they was doing it consistently the whole time. And it did play a big part in the game, because the kids' mindset changed every time they start going there. It was like, I think this guy about to.
And there was that one, and a lot of times it's not every kid on the team. It's just that one kid that just buys into that road of like, you know what? I'm going to be the one to do it.
Yeah.
And any team, you got a player like that. That's normally not your best player, but that's your best all-around player.
That's that Shane Battier.
That's that Shane Battier. Crazy part is the Draymond Green. You know what I mean? It's them type of players. The PJ Tuckers and stuff like that.
Right. So I feel like, one, we do got a guest on the couch. We haven't quite introduced him yet.
No.
So one, I'm gonna allow you to kind of run down a little bit of the resume, who you are, who you've coached, what you've done, and then I got a good question. We got 1, 2, 3. It's 3 trainers in here right now, and after you introduce yourself, I'd like you to start off. What makes a good trainer? But yeah,
good
talk
question.
to us.
I'm Dijuan. Social media, probably people know me as the point guard. I am a coach, former player, mentor, brother. I love the game. I love being a fan of the game. I love dissecting the game, talking the game, speaking the game, playing the game. I'm a savant when it comes to basketball. I enjoy watching kids grow and develop as a trainer. I love competing still at a high level. I think that's the most important thing in the process of basketball is the art of competing, understanding what competition truly is, understanding yourself and know where you're trying to go. I'm one of those people who love to do that.
Hold on, bro. Don't sell yourself short now as a player now. Come on, give me some of them accolades, bro. Come on now. Don't sell yourself short now, bro. Come on now. I
played at UNC Charlotte, man. I was one of the top assist leaders at the school. I still hold records there for that. Played the most minutes at UNC Charlotte, the highest turnover to assist ratio at the school. Besides me, LeVansville, and Ty Lawson are in the top 3 in that category with assists. I led the country in assists. For a long period of time, I was a Bob Cousy Award finalist. I was first team in the A10. I averaged a double-double the whole conference season my junior year. Yeah, that's me as a player. At UNC Charlotte. I definitely played pro. I played pro in several different countries. In Europe, played in Germany, played in Turkey, Finland, Slovakia, Finland, and France. That's all of them.
I imagine you've coached a little bit, huh?
Yeah, I've coached a little bit with a lot of, elite programs. I coached with Hustle. I coached with CP3. I've had battles, of course, with people that's on the pod, with Wayne, Coach Wayne with Team United. We had our battles really, really good when we was younger. Now I coach at Cox Mill as an assistant over there. We're having a roller coaster type of season, I shall say. Looking to finish as strong as we possibly can, knowing that seedings for playoffs are coming and conference tournament is coming. So we actually have a huge game if anybody is free on Tuesday night versus Hickory Ridge. We're playing for the third place. It's going to be a great game. They have some really, really good kids there. They're coached by a great coach and Coach Broom. He's a really great X's and O's guy. Makes really good adjustments during the game, and he allows his guys to play free. I can say that.
Yeah, he definitely does.
So that's going to be a battle on Tuesday night. We lost in 4 overtimes to them at Hickory Ridge.
4 overtime.
It's a lot of really good 2027 kids.
So
the Tazier kid is good too.
Yeah,
2026.
Yes. Yes.
But in essence, a lot of good underclassmen. So junior
and sophomores.
Yeah,
at both schools.
Yeah. As a trainer, I trained at EAT Academy. Everybody who probably played basketball came to EAT Academy. So,
at least once.
At least one time.
At least once, for sure.
So the infamous EAT Academy, I was there. I was one of the elite trainers there. Shout out to EAT Academy. Shout out to Alec. Shout out all those guys.
KD.
All those.
KD.
Yep. Dom, Percy, Big Mike in the weight room, Ultimate Fitness. Shout out all of those guys. Shout out everybody over there, man. That's what was going down at EAT Academy for sure. So as a trainer, all of the elite guys has probably came through the doors. The beginners came through the doors. Future NBA guys came through the doors. From younger age all the way up to pros has walked through those doors. I'm still training today. I train out of Chris Lane Sports Complex down in Belmont, and also at Cox Mill. But still train. I still watch the game a lot. I still watch the kids that I've been able to grow with and see them develop from little kids to now they in high school.
Yeah.
And it's good to watch all of these kids grow in their own journey. And to kind of just guide them, you know what I mean? Give them the game. And whatever they take from it, but my job is to continue to feed it to them.
Before y'all answer that first question about training, me looking and just hearing just now, you kind of threw another question that I love for y'all to answer first, in which I think, matter of fact, everybody in this podcast has both wore two hats, head coach and assistant. What are some differences between being a head coach and an assistant coach?
Honestly, I don't think there is no difference. My coach at Charlotte used to always preach this quote to his assistants. And he used to always tell them, I'm not as good as my assistants. So if my assistants, whatever my assistants are, that's how good I'm going to be.
Yep.
You know what I mean? Because those are the extra eyes that I can't see everything else that is going on. But those extra 6 to 8 eyes, they're always going to see the extra that you don't see. And so I'm only going to be as good as my assistant coaches. Even now, I feel that way. And I'm one of those guys that can take my ego out and say, what did you see? What should we go? What do you need? What sub we need to make? Do you have a play? What do you have in mind? Because it's not just about me.
Right.
It's about the win. And as a win, you got to get those collectively. Yeah. So I'm only as good as my assistants.
Was there any adjustment from going from like head coach to assistant coach?
Toning my level down is the one thing I think I had to understand, and understand that I'm his second voice, but I can't be a voice over him. So I had to learn to defer and wait my turn before I express. Like as a head coach, you always on top of stuff sometimes. You know what I mean? Especially for me, like I'm thinking of the next thing, and the next thing, so I can prepare myself for the next thing. As an assistant, I'm doing that, but I gotta wait. Hold on. Let me let him do his thing, and then I'm gonna say, yo, coach, this is what I saw. The biggest thing I think I had to learn was to defer and wait.
Gotcha. Wayne, Trey?
Well, I would say, and kind of going along with Dijuan, I mean, it is a moment when you have to tone down your level. You know, I mean, y'all all know me. I'm the most intensest guy on the sideline, sweating, slapping the floor, sliding on defense with my boys and everything. That's just me. But, you know, it's funny that when I first sat on that bench as assistant coach, I got almost so many texts of almost stand up. Coach, you only had one person stand. So that was one of the biggest adjustments for me, just sitting my butt down, you know what I mean, allowing my voice, you know, calling people to the sideline. But I feel like when you have a good conglomerate of coaches and everyone respects each other, it makes it easy to be in that adjustment, you know, to go from being, because really in a sense, a good staff is full of head coaches.
Correct.
You know what I mean? It's almost like a football setup. You know, that's a head coach, but you got the offense coordinator, you got a defense coordinator, you got a special teams coach. Like everyone is a head in their own right, but at the same time, we're just coming together, put our heads together to be one collective whole unit. Now, there is a name that sits up top of there as far as the head, but when that head coach, like you say, is looking at his staff like I'm only as good as my staff is, it makes it a great situation for the players itself. So it kind of makes it an easy transition to go from being a head coach to assistant and vice versa.
Correct.
Because, you know, as an assistant going to a head, now you're putting in more of a leader role to have to manage more. You know, we have to check the temperatures of our players a lot more now. You know, you really have to be aware of the mental health, the mental state that kid is in the moments, you know, which is something we should have done always, though, but it's become more and more prevalent to where these kids are affected more. So, I mean, being an assistant, that's somewhat of my role. Yeah. You know what I mean? So where I don't need my head coach having to be worried about when he pulls somebody out, like the attitude or what they're going through, you know, getting them back ready to get back in the game. I feel like that's what, you know, the assistants are for and everything like that. So, you know, everyone having a defined role, you know, helps the team flow better more than anything else, and that whole coaching staff flow better. Because the coaching staffs I see that are most successful is like everyone has a voice, an equal voice. Yeah, you know what I mean. It's not where, you know, he has to, coach ain't hear what I'm saying. You know what I'm trying. Yeah, when you get stuff like that going on, that's when you get a divide. Then the players start picking sides of who they see divide. And next thing you know, it's a split locker room. You know, a split coaches room, and that's when you see where opportunities are getting dwindled with teams that may have the talent and everything like that. But what may be going on is not necessarily the players, maybe with the coaching staff.
Correct.
So, you know, you got to look at all those different things as far as what makes up a good coach, assistant coach, and a good coaching staff. But I feel like being on the same page, having an equal voice, allows the staff to be sufficient and be successful more than anything else.
Yeah. And I guess I'd say inside two separate scenarios. So with me and Wayne, me going from like battling with Wayne to then being an assistant with Wayne, I think the first adjustment was kind of like finding my foot.
Yeah. Because
one, it's already kind of like a weird thing because I rival pretty much with these guys. So we had every gym that we went into, everybody was arguing. Pretty much, it was almost like a hate, love, hate.
Yeah. It was a North Mac Chambers game every time we played.
Yeah, every time we played. So with that, I guess it was twofold. So one, it was a bit of kind of finding my footing within that.
Yeah.
And then like you said, like understanding how to tone down, because I was used to for like 3 years just running a program of practice all the way through. Like I was used to having that voice. So when I first came, I almost was like just sitting and just watching it, because I had to understand. You used the word culture earlier. Like, all right, so what's the culture here? Like we did start here, but we had about a 3-year gap. Yeah. I need to see what's actually happening here.
Where's the growth, and where have things changed? Where have things grew at? Because yeah.
And then after that, it was kind of like finding my way to be myself still. And which, like, the good thing with him was that, like, we already had a rapport and a trust because we competed. Like, he done beat my ass, I done beat his ass. We done had close games. We done did the entire thing. We done seen adjustments on both sides. Like, all right, there's a mutual respect. And then from there, like, we became almost like really easy to ping pong off of, to where it was an ebb and flow where, like, I can make an adjustment. It's not anything. Wayne make an adjustment. We can kind of run a practice to where, like, sometimes my voice is the loudest, sometimes his voice is the only voice. Like, it was never like a real issue inside that, to where we kind of had like a mutual respect to where it worked itself out. I'd say the most recent time that I did the assistant coach thing, the first part was the developing trust with that coach, where, like, they might bring you on because a little bit of what they know of you, but then they have to, through the process of whether it's, like you breaking down things in practice, the adjustments that you're able to suggest in the game, but eventually, like, you have to gain their trust to where they lean on you more. Yeah. And that was something within the last time that I was assistant coach that, it was like, okay, all right, so I understand, like, this person's kind of like this version, so I'm gonna make sure I make myself useful, throw little nuggets to where eventually I can get to where I want to be at when it comes down to getting them to understand the value in which I can bring as a basketball man. Yeah. But yeah, Trey, I don't think you answered yet.
Man, I take a lot of pride in being an assistant. Being a head is hard. Yeah. And I commend all the guys that's on the sideline and take them L's, and you win or you lose. And when you win, you still lose because the parent mad about the playing time. And I just had that, and it's, being an assistant, I'm finding joy in just like the things y'all talked about, like sitting there and seeing what player is tired. Okay, get him a sub. Oh, he getting beat. Let's try somebody else. You in this defense, try something else. I like doing that, because when you the head, slow down so much. Yeah, because when you the head, you go in with a game plan, and then sometimes you just stay stuck on what you practice. You ain't thinking about adjustment. So you like, man, yeah, you might try something else, but like, that's why you need that good assistant. Like, coach, that ain't working. Yeah, that ain't working. So me, I like the assistant role. I ain't got to be the guy.
Oh no, listen, it's so much less.
Yeah, it is.
I ain't gonna lie to you.
Shout out the heads out there. Y'all can keep that.
Listen, if you a head coach, listen, I done had them losses where, especially the loss where you supposed to win.
Yeah. I just had one. Don't bring that up.
Man, you feel a way too. I just go home and take a nap. I'll be like, God damn. Feel it right here.
Didn't I just come back in here talking about what happened yesterday? Yeah. I was still thinking about that. We should have won the game. We didn't get the inbound, and there you go. We go into overtime and we lose. We would be headed to the Final Four. Really?
No, that's one thing that's like that's it. The heavyweigh's the crown, bro. That's one there. Yeah. But like you mentioned, you win games and you still lose because everyone's not happy for each other.
Oh, that part too.
Yeah. And that's the thing that you start to see a lot now. And I don't know if it's more so the kids or the generation or what it is. Because I know Dijuan, you see, what I'm talking about, bro. It's like that before kids to be just so happy to win.
I don't think it's realistic.
It's the parents.
I don't think that's a realistic expectation for everybody to be happy and on the same page no more.
Yeah.
I bought into the fact that even if that kid plays well, the parents still will find a way to find something to nitpick about with that kid.
And this
whether you took him out early, and he took a bad shot, while the other kid, and it's always a comparison to
another kid on the team.
Kid. So you're never gonna win that battle because, well, Wayne shot that shot, but why you take my son out?
Oh Lord,
because your son
Wayne
can't
shot
shoot.
The same shot.
Your son can't shoot, and he trying to do what the other one do.
But that's my explanation. Well, guess what? I've seen Wayne in the gym working on that shot.
Right.
That's what I'm saying.
A lot of. So I'm gonna allow Wayne to shoot that shot.
So don't be mad at his volleyball line 3.
Well, and I think a lot to your point is too, bro, is the parents have been given a voice they didn't really have when we came up.
Yeah.
Amen.
Like access to the coach.
Like I was watching a pod where he said, man, I remember getting cussed out by my coach, then getting cussed out in the car by my parent because the coach had to cuss me out.
Yeah.
Like that's the type of thing used to be where a parent didn't necessarily didn't really go against the coach.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Not unless it was just something blatantly out there that, I got to protect my child. But for the most part, when it came to basketball, it wasn't, my dad never said, my grandma's at every game.
Yeah.
Every game. She hooped. My grandma hooped at Second Ward back in the 50s, bro.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like she know the game better than some people I know right now.
Yeah.
But she never say nothing. My pops never said nothing. It was always like, what your coach say?
Mm-hmm.
What your coach say? Yeah. You know what I mean? Because there was a level of respect for that coach.
Right.
You know what I mean? And allowing that coach to coach your kid in the way they need to be coached.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like now we've, and I say we because I've been a coach, a head coach, assistant coach. We've given too much room for parents to
have a voice.
Yeah. You know what I mean? When it's
and it's just what it is. Basketball shit. Like he do this, he's the coach.
Yeah. Like respect
what
I do. Like in a sense, like even with the players now, it's like that they're carrying on from what that parent is talking about as well. So it's like instead of a parent being like, I think what's the head coach at UMass? Frank Martin. Frank Martin had he had an interview. He's talking about his kids. He said, I don't allow my kid to come home and talk about the coach. You go talk to the coach.
Mm-hmm.
I can't change that for you.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But we don't get that.
Yeah.
We get the parents to kind of get in the amen corner. And then now, of course that kid is going to, if their parents agreeing with them, now they in the amen corner too. So now they've broken their trust, their conversation, their verbalage and communication with that coach based on their conversation they have with their parent.
So my question is, how do you hold these kids accountable from a coach's perspective if you know there is a different message all the time? How can you hold the kids accountable in practice when you know they're going back and they're going to listen to their parents, even if they show it the right way in practice?
Well, to me, it's almost a double-edged sword in which the answer's in the question where the way you deal with it, in my opinion, is accountability. Because as soon as you don't, then you're starting to placate.
Yeah.
And that's Pandora's box. You open that up, we all have seen, heard, or experienced different versions of that where, as you said, you give too much access or you don't hold kids accountable. And I guess we could probably get into a culture conversation in a little bit, but you start to build a toxic culture within your program, in my opinion. Like if you can't hold kids accountable, because to me, I would believe that as a head coach, your job is not to placate to the parents or care about any of those outside things. Right. So like whatever you hear, you're going to hear it. It's going to be said, and it's going and this is like speaking from the lens of the kids, like whatever's being told in that car ride, you can't control it. Whatever is being said whenever they're watching film with their parents, you can't control it. No, you can control what happens at practice, and you can control what happens in the game.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And those are the two things in which you can. You look at the buzz because it goes to a couple things.
Buzz.
Listen, we're gonna talk about them parents in the crowd as well in a second. But I guess first, there's a couple different things.
Because I want to respond to what you just said, right, with the accountability piece and the parents' messages is mixed. So me experiencing seeing it, you want to win, right? Because as a head coach, you're still under a microscope of winning.
Yeah, wins and losses still.
Because you can be fired, right?
Yeah.
That's the way I take care of my home. I take care of my bills on a day-to-day basis.
Yeah.
Now, if I take number 3, 4, 5 out of the game, and 6, 7, 8, it's just some regular kids that are looking to go to college for academics. I put my team in a bad situation, and I'm probably going to get smacked.
But let me ask you this.
I think it's easier to hold the kids accountable, so to speak, when you got more to work with.
Yeah.
But it's harder to hold kids accountable when the AD saying you need to win, this kid ain't performing, but then when you turn around the sub, it ain't nothing there.
Yeah,
but
it's that goddamn.
So I got 2 answers for you.
That long stare at the bench.
That long stare.
Yeah, you don't want to play. You looking at you like, you know you're not supposed to sub me in.
Right. You looking like I ain't gonna sub you. I'm just looking to make it look good.
And this kid out here still doing crazy.
I think it ended up being 2 things, right? 2 ways that I would imagine that you could probably approach it. Where one, like whether we talking AAU or like high school basketball, one, it would be make sure your schedule makes sense.
Yeah.
So like there's certain things we all done did like the what's the team bond tournament?
Oh yeah.
Where like you can lay some groundwork there.
Oh yeah.
Where like same difference like public, like if you schedule a couple easy early wins or even summer ball where it literally don't really matter.
Yeah.
Where like you're building the culture in moments where you got a little bit more leeway.
Yeah.
I think that could be an answer. And then 2, I think like North Mac does this well. He'll sub them out for like 30 seconds, 45 seconds.
Get your mind right, sub.
Hey, hey, that was bad.
Yeah.
Come on. I expect more from you, XYZ, just coaching them up. And then you send them right back in. To me, I think that those are probably 2 options to where you just don't make it to where it just seems acceptable. That'd be.
Yeah.
I get that. I guess I can get that. But Lewis also has the pleasure of, okay, I'm subbing you out, but what I still got in, I'm still pretty much okay with what's still in.
Right.
What happens with that program that when he subbed this top guy out,
Well, I feel like that.
20.
I feel like that addresses a different issue, though. It's like, why are you not having all your players prepared to at least perform in the moment and be the best version of themselves for the team?
Because what happened when that same player get 3 fouls?
Yeah, because in a sense,
you lose. I see a lot of public schools when that top player goes out. If we be completely transparent,
for sure.
Everybody don't have
the luxury of
stars
of 8 rotational players.
Yeah, 8 rotational guys. And a lot of teams right now in public school win based on they're being top heavy. I got more elite kids than you got. I got more AAU kids than you got. I don't really need a lot of coaching ability to know that I have enough talent to outdo you.
Put them in a diamond.
Yeah.
I'm going to out-athlete you. I'm going to out-jump you. I'm going to out-skill you. I'm going to out-train. These kids train every day. Your kids don't.
Yeah.
I beat you.
Yep.
Okay, but so a caveat to that would mean, so what makes a team like Lake Norman hard to beat when they don't really have the? I don't feel like they're not as. I'm not gonna say that.
We played them, so I can talk about them too.
That's why I asked them, because they played them. They played them
and
Friday.
I can give you.
I'm about to say, you ever play CC Elite?
Yeah.
It's a bunch of kids that look unathletic.
Oh, no, for sure. Like,
but it's the system.
But guess what they know how to? They know how to actually play
basketball.
Yeah. Pass cut really good.
Yeah. Now Lake Norman has the luxury of only playing. They only need 7 kids.
They do got 2 D1s,
but they have 2 big time D1s with Trent, who honestly, when you look at the landscape of basketball, he's the biggest kid in public school at 6'10".
That's
that's the kid that went to Monteverde and came back, right?
Yeah, he played at CP3, but I know he went to Monteverde because it was probably too tough.
Okay,
that's the other one.
Okay,
honestly, and came back. And then you have Trey McKinnon, who's about a 6'5", 6'6" stud athlete on the wing.
Oh, that's what you call him, kid. That's Trey kid to play with NC Best, Team of 9 and everything. Okay,
you have a bona fide stud point guard who does everything you tell him to do. He guards well. He's strong. He knows how to play the game. He's a manager and a great one. And Nick.
Oh, yeah.
You have Yates beside him who can shoot the laces off the ball and can also handle
that ball too. Yeah.
Not afraid. And then they have like a stud shooter, number 10. Don't know his name, but he can really space the floor. And they world coach. They've been around each other for the last 3 years. They have continuity and chemistry. You don't really have to coach that team. You know what I'm saying? You don't, because they know exactly what to do, when to do it, how to do it, and they just keep their foot on the gas pedal. The only thing that can hurt a team like that is they get bored with winning.
You got to keep them motivated.
You got to keep them motivated because they're going to win in conference. They're winning by 20 to 30 points generally every single night because they're not playing. You don't have no center to deal with Trent. You're going to have to double. I don't care if you double, it's an extra shot. And if you double him, then Trey rebounds the heck out of the ball so well. He's getting weak side rebounds. So they just have a complete team.
So why haven't they won the state now?
They couldn't deal with the Slim Reaper. Slim calls them. Shout out Slim Reaper. He beat them last year.
Duke Nation, baby. We took that L, but Duke Nation.
That's why they won. That's why
he got in. This year will be run last night.
Yeah, he did. Yeah.
They lost to Clemson.
Yeah, they did. Don't talk.
No.
You heard that? I thought that. Don't talk about it.
I can't wait to Slim sophomore campaign.
Yeah, it's gonna be.
I bet people that Slim sophomore campaign, he stays there. He plays there. He's the OG in the game.
You're making me feel good.
And he takes the reign from Cooper Flagg, and he's the guy who has to now nurture the younger guys because he done been there before.
So even with Boozer coming in, he's gonna.
I think it'll be a Slim Boozer show. The way it's Con, Nopal, and Cooper Flagg show.
Yeah, you got to think like Boozer.
You think Knuple's gonna stay?
I think Knupple is gone. I think he's a lottery pick.
Interesting.
And Boozer, he's not ball dominant.
No, he's a 4.
Like like
he's a true 4.
Cooper, like they have him bring the ball up.
He's a 1.
So like it's a little bit different to where like I think Isaiah can kind of.
So what did the young Boozer do? I mean,
the Boozer is just a bona fide point guard.
Yeah, I was gonna say
he's a great manager. Not gonna turn the ball over, run your team great, make open shots, lead a little bit, not super athletic, never make mistakes. Great guy.
Trey Jones type of guy.
Yeah. He's a perfect Duke point guard. He's like the epitome of
he's like a Wojciechowski type.
Yeah.
Like Wojo. He's a Wojo type. I got you.
And that's it. That's why I think Slim next year will be like, he'll be a lottery pick after next year, I believe.
So, fellas, I guess to kind of refocus back to where we was at in the conversation, there was a bit of, as we was talking about, dealing with parents, ride home, XYZ, and accountability piece, dealing with entitled parents. Entitled can go a couple different ways. Like you might have a kid that's a stud. And so, like you only going to put up with this much and then you out of it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Or you might come from an ilk and where like you might be a parent that, and that ilk could be a couple different things. Sometimes that ilk could be your money roll, or it could be your player experience as a person. Generally speaking, how do you deal with entitled parents as a head coach?
Get them off the team. I don't waste no time. Get them off the team. It's a cancer. Get them off the team. That's what I do. Anytime I deal with that, basketball is basketball. I feel like every game ain't going to be the same. You got scores. Scores going to be scores. Sometimes he might be in a slump. Then this player might be hot this game. But if it's a parent that has an issue all the time with, hey, just because this scorer or this player was doing X, Y, Z, and you always comparing, let's get you out of there. I ain't wasting no time.
I want to throw this back one more time to make sure we have you solo. So how do you deal with entitled parents?
Get them out of there. 3 strikes, you're out of there. Get them out of there. I ain't throwing no curves, all fastballs. Get out of there. Get out of there.
But
I see what you're doing, Q.
Nah, but I feel like to what Trey is saying, though, I feel like, and I'm speaking from 2 different stages of being a coach. Mm-hmm. So if you're just getting to a program, you got to put your foot down early.
Mm-hmm.
So that straight fastball you're referring to, even though it may not be the
best way to
do it, or the vanity way, like meaning it may not look the best. Far as hey, you had the best when you kicked them. when the boys done, you got to do what's best for your program.
Yep.
You know what I mean? Now, we talking about a seasoned coach.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it has to go to what your precedence has been before to a certain extent. Mm-hmm. If you've had a precedence.
Right.
I mean, like if you've had to deal with that before, how have you dealt with it before? Mm-hmm. You know, but also I feel like you have to look at the moment, the time, the kid itself too, you know, because entitled parent may not also equate to that kid feeling that way or that kid playing that way.
Yeah.
You know, sometimes parents move individually as their own entity, sometimes against their own child, and they don't even know it. So, you know, I feel like it's different strokes for different folks in certain things, in certain of those aspects, though. But I mean, I'm in agreement with you as far as removing the cancer.
Yeah.
But I feel like it has to be a protocol to that as well.
No, look, Wayne, and now for all the viewers now, that's why I don't want to deal with high school basketball because it's hard. You know, I just said being a head coach I like my little role as assistant and, you know, and being where I'm at.
More at stake.
Yeah, it is. So, you know.
It is. And I think for me, what I've learned is to have those conversations
early
before my season starts.
Mm-hmm.
Let me see what your expectations of your child is to make sure as a coach
it aligns.
Right.
It aligns and I can meet your expectations.
Mm-hmm.
If it don't align, then it's okay for me to say, you know what, this may not be a great fit.
That's their protocol. That's their protocol. I'm talking about. Have that protocol in place. I'd rather do
it early before wait. And I get in a situation now, I'm looking over my shoulder, you over my shoulder, and you like, oh, nah, this ain't what I thought. This ain't what I thought either.
They're out of here.
Now, what I've learned to do is, you know, just from being around certain coaches is put things in writing.
Yeah.
Put things on paper.
Yeah.
Put things on the black and white.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? To where, and you talking about, you know, accountability. I'm giving out, you know, expectations, and I want it to be signed by both parent and child. So when it does come time to implement protocol, we gonna go right back to that black and white.
Yeah.
Which you signed Joe John Hancock on.
Right.
And we're gonna go step by step. Yeah. It may be suspending the game, it may be suspending practice, it may be 2 games, it may till we get to a point where it's like, hey, thank you for your services, you know. I'm not going to hold you back from going to do something else, but it may not be here.
Yeah.
You know, and you got to have that in place because if you don't, you get to a space where you can't manage it no more. Man. And then you lose your locker room, you lose the respect of your players, you lose the respect of your peers in a sense, and you put yourself in a position to where you don't feel like you are who you are.
Yeah, I was going to say you don't want to lose that locker room.
Nah, and I feel like that's when you get to that point of losing that locker room, that's when you see that season hits them divots. You know what I mean? Like you say, hit a roller coaster and everything. And it may not be all the players, it may not be all the parents, but you know, a cancer can spread.
Oh yeah, yes, shout out to the Lakers for effing up my parlay too.
Yes,
man. You know, Anthony Davis gone, and now they look like the Lakers.
Shout out to the Showtime Lakers, man. Y'all doing a great job over there.
Shout out to that.
Shout out Rob Pelinka.
They just sent my boy back. We can get into that.
I had to throw that in.
We definitely got to get back to that.
Shout out Rob.
Shout out Rob.
I guess the one we can leave off on you if you got any more you want to add to it.
Yeah, I think like you said, protocol is everything. I'm personally in one of those similar situations where I'm dealing with a lot of really, really good kids. But I think the expectation for me is to have those conversations beforehand, because when you're dealing with other basketball moms, dads that's either played the game at a high level, seen it at a high level, been around it at a high level, they also see what it looks like. And I applaud every parent that advocates for their son or daughter for making sure that they're going to be in the right situation to see them blossom. I feel that. I'm a dad. I get it. Totally understand it. But as long as we can have those conversations to make sure that what you're asking aligns with what I'm requiring, we're good. It shouldn't be any differences along the way. You know what I mean? Because I'm going to coach the game, not for just the growth and the development of your kid, but also for the whole team aspect. And that's the one common goal is to win and make sure that everybody succeeds and looks good, you know what I'm saying, while winning.
Especially once you get to high school, the goal is to get all them kids scholarships.
That's it.
Yeah,
and
not
so
just 1 or 2.
Yes. What I always say is for my goal this year on EYBL is to make sure all my kids get at least one scholarship offer throughout the course of the year. And like I tell all kids, show your strengths while working on your weaknesses in the dark.
Mm-hmm. Can I ask one question? We got you here. So look, my man thought, no, man. Hot seat. That's a hot seat take right here.
Go a hot seat.
Yeah, we gotta go hot seat. Now, why the point guard? Because all of us are fan of music. And when T.I. called himself the king of the South, he ruffled feathers. Everybody like, man, who he think he is? And what you saying, you the point guard, the streets might be talking like that. Why the point guard? What's the brand, the movement? Why you choose that, as something to run with?
Because of my resume and the things that I accomplished as far as assists and all of that. It was never about scoring for me. It was always putting my team in the best situation possible for winning. And that's why I truly wanted to call myself that. Like, I see a lot of people that be saying it, but I don't think they truly understand like it's not too many point guards still left.
That's why I asked you that.
A lot more combo guards than point guards. You know what I'm saying? Everybody wants to score first. And off of scoring, I'll make the best play for the team. I was the total opposite, Dad.
Yeah, me too.
I'd rather put my team in the best situation. I got off on seeing X, Y, and Z get off than myself. So when I look at it, I was always a guy, and I was always told in film sessions, like Dijuan, that with these assists plus your points, you accounted for how many points that game.
Scored. Yeah.
So for a kid who may have 18, I might have had 13, but had 10 assists. So I could have accounted for 33 points in that game.
No, you did account for that.
You know what I mean? Yeah, and that's just if we didn't make any threes.
Yeah.
But I could have accounted for so much. So I was one of those guys.
And going to where you're at, this is something that as I've been looking, walking through the path, even with my son being a point guard, do you feel that there is a diminishing value of being that version of a point guard?
Yes, I do feel like it's a diminishing value, and I think it's social media.
And the NBA.
Yep, in the NBA. It's not that many there, but I can honestly tell you that that's a lane that if I'm in this world, I'm getting in that lane because that lane isn't crowded. Those other lanes,
but you know what?
People
not to cut you off, Q, but I feel like what you're saying is an alignment to also being the junkyard dog type player. Like nobody wants to be that no more. You know what I mean? Like people don't realize the benefits of having a Rodman type on your team or having a Draymond Green type. Nobody want to be like, I'm going to work on being my Draymond Green. Like, nah, they don't. But bro, that's the lane there that gets you paid.
$100 million.
You know what I mean? You know how many pure point guards
Williams
stay in the league long term?
Yeah.
I'm talking about the Trey Jones and all them type, man. Like
Ish
Smith played with 15, 16 years.
Yeah.
So like I understand and I agree. I guess to me, as I'm doing like a zoomed out and I'm starting to look at what it's trending towards now and where the scholarships are given out at now, I have seen a void of past first point guards. And those being what the metric is of how they're getting scholarships in comparison to something different.
With that question, I'm glad you mentioned that. Now, with pass first, you know what I mean? It comes with a different resume. It comes with different intangibles. So as they are pass first, do they guard well? Are they talking? Are they leading? Are they getting in the paint very consistently? And can they honestly make an open shot? Like
that's what I was about to say. I was like, it's not about just being pass first.
Mean you can't make an open shot. You still have to have the requirement of making open shots. If you're open, you need to be able to make those shots. I think a lot of people and you still need to be able to, when the shot clock is going down and it's 10 seconds and under, that's what I was speaking to a college coach about yesterday. You still need to be able to say, I can get to that. I can give you the ball, and kid, you can go make me a play. You can bucket on your own.
Get to the bar on that thing. Yeah.
Not to go get buckets. It's not that you can't get buckets.
You're choosing to take a better option.
To take the better option. I'm a bucket getter. I can go get my own, but I choose
to want to set you up to set you up. And as a good point guard, the more I do that, it opens up my opportunities late in the game anyway. So in a sense, a pure point guard really is a selfish guard that just want to get everybody set up so I can get myself off late in the game anyway.
Playing chess.
That's the chess of the game right there, bro.
Most pass first point guards, guess what? They're able to hold the ball the majority of the shot clock.
Yeah.
Right. I agree.
You're just saying it's not the most
like the era of, I'm trying to think of like Charlotte grew up and we watched nothing but a bunch of pure point guards at first. And
from Muggsy Bowles and everything.
The league is transitioned. There's not a bunch of Andre Millers.
Yeah,
correct. Like they don't exist in the league at all. They don't really exist inside college basketball.
They exist, but they don't start.
I think that
I'm gonna say they exist, but they just don't start.
That's the issue. I think we look at it from an NBA perspective, but it's not too many. Yeah, it's not too many of our kids that's honestly gonna actually get to that level. So I tell a lot of kids that I deal with, look at college.
You got to.
Watch
stop
college.
there.
That's the measuring stick.
Past there, kid, you were damn.
You was good. Yep.
No, that's
but look at the metrics for college only, because we got to get to college before we even get to the NBA. And I think
right about that, bro.
Only if we look at the pinnacle, there is no point guards really in the NBA. It's a lot of shooting.
Right.
It's a lot of shooting.
It's an entertainment league, though.
It's entertainment.
Right. So let me ask you: are they giving out scholarships still for Andre Millers?
Yes. I can honestly say at UNC Charlotte right now, they are seeking a bona fide
pure point guard. Yep.
Yeah. They're not looking for it. And they have 2 guards on their teams that get buckets. You know what I mean? But what they looking for is a guy who can make everybody else around them better. And they don't have that.
Well, I mean, and the proof into what you're saying is a lot of point guards that are in college. If you look at it, they're small. They're still starting another guard alongside them that is more of a pure point guard.
Yep.
Yeah. Like you look at Auburn, even Tahad Petaway, they starting the other guy as well.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? Even then
you can have an issue like UNC.
True.
You got 2
Cadeau and
but nobody's not.
I feel like Ellen Cadeau is a more pure point guard than RJ Davis is.
He is.
He's a little bit better at it, but I still don't know.
He's a pure point guard who.
Well, RJ's never played the point guard position at Carolina either, though.
But that's a different story.
Yeah.
Ellen Cadeau is definitely a true point guard. It's just his decision making isn't always good.
Yeah.
And then RJ's never played. He's never played point guard purely at Carolina since he's been there.
Correct.
Because he played with what you call him before that.
Love.
RJ Davis is
he played with Caleb Love before that.
He's a small scoring point guard who's always been
a
small scoring point guard. Even in high school, that's who that kid was. He was a bucket getter.
So as I have a bunch of point guards here, let me ask y'all this: what version? And y'all, everybody got kids here. Or even if we just put it inside like the hypothetical, what version of a point guard or guard would you be pushing your son to be as they're moving up? Is it the marketable? I put up 20 and 10, or is it going to be like I might be doing it? My bad, I said 20 and 10. Let me. You putting up 20 and 7?
Yeah.
Or I'm doing 10 and 10.
I'd say
I'm gonna take 15 points, more like 7 to 8 dimes, 5 rebounds, 3 steals.
That's what I'm about to say.
You gotta be a stat stuffer if you are a prototypical point guard. Because 20 and 7.
Are you pushing you? I guess maybe that
I'm pushing my kid to be a bona fide point guard in a lane of his own. Than a combo guard.
So he'll never be like the leading scorer on this team. He'll always
if he is the lead scorer on this team, guess what? We probably lost.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
He's scrapping up. He playing D.
Yeah.
He doing
We probably lost. I want him to be able to get all these guys involved, and then and off the Florida offense, he knows how to get his off throughout the court when it's time to get those things off. And I feel like as a point guard who controls the Florida game, and if you get the ball in your hands a lot, even down the stretch, like even in college, like I would get 8 to 10 points in the last 3.5 minutes of the game just based off making sure I control the ball. They're going to foul, and I'm going to the free throw line. And those aren't counted against my numbers of shot attempts. Some games I might only took 5 shots, but I got 19
points because I didn't went 7 from 8 from the line or something like that for sure.
You know what I mean? So to me, I feel like I want a guard that can control the game, the entire game, where a point guard not only controls my shot attempts, but because he's so elite, he controls the shot attempts on the other team, meaning we're getting so many good shots that we get a chance to actually play good defense and control their shots as well.
Hey, can I chime in on that? I seen that yesterday. Shout out to Devarius Hill Jr. at Ransom.
Oh, no, bro.
Oh, my God. They going to the Final Four.
It was his birthday.
He did exactly that, what you said.
On his birthday.
They played the Mint Hill team. The Mint Hill team had more talent than them, and he just controlled the game. I shouted him out on our story. Yeah. He controlled the game, and he's just like a grown man. Like, he just – how he plays, the pace, he just controlled everything.
That's how his dad played. And his dad played that way.
He didn't try, and he got a bag. He didn't try to get in it. He was getting everybody the ball. He'd get the paint touch, collapse. Oh, there you go, big man. Get in there. He just selling out, just getting it everywhere. And they won the game. They won the game like that. So shout out them. I always like to shout out our kids, as in this area.
So for me, growing up as a point guard, I wanted to be Jason Kidd. That's why to this day I rocked number 5 and it's been passed on. But I was J Kidd to the day I die, because the way bro would get the rebound, push, lock up, hit the open 3, and he had fun doing he was doing, bro. Like, he was one of the he gave you the Magic Johnson behind the whoop the whoop, like, man, he gave you that, but at the same time he'll break it down to dribble, full speed, cross behind the back. Like,
I'm gonna tell you another one, Mike Bibby was like
for sure. But those are the type of guards I try to mimic my game after. And I would, if I am raising the point guard, which I'm not at this moment, what I mean, I would really mimic what J Kidd did.
Right.
He had fun playing the game. It wasn't the boring point guard of yesteryear, back at them. J Kidd gave you many different facets of the game.
He'll break you down.
What I mean? You get that quick cross bop. Had the passing, maybe the rebound, and he defended well. And then now, looking back, I think right now he's like top 5 all-time 3-point leaders made.
Making the open shots.
Making the open shots.
Yeah.
Ain't never been known to score his whole career, but you look at the stats when he's retired now, he's top 5. I think top 5 or top 6 all-time 3-point
couple
shooters.
Years, he averaged a triple-double, though, or some shit like that.
Close enough to it. I mean, his career is close enough. I think his career is almost like maybe 15, 8, you know what I mean?
The biggest attribute you said first was rebound. He rebounded better than bigs.
Yes.
Like, he rebounded.
I prided myself on being a rebounding guard. Like, I averaged 5 rebounds in college. I averaged 8 in the high school. You know what I mean? I prided myself on getting that ball, maybe to start the break, pushing it up, getting the lob here, getting that quick 3 here, throwing a nice bounce pass, or even getting my own little pull up real quick.
I averaged 5 rebounds on 2K. I ain't got it. But
I think it's hard to be a combo guard
on my players.
I think so as well.
Hey,
because a combo guard is too much more expected of you. Like, you're expected to put that ball in the hole
every night. And what if it's not your night? What if it don't go in?
I mean,
what are you good for?
I guess, to me, what I've seen more recently
is the popularity of it.
I've seen the popularity in from like social media or like what coaches value. It seems to be the bucket getting and not necessarily the assist to turnover ratio. And that ends up being like I said, it ends up being like an interesting balance to where it's, for me, I've always been in the idea of like pure points. So it's like push, first X, Y. But what I've seen trend, and that's at all levels of it, is
the scoring guard. Scoring guard.
It's aggressive guards.
Aggressive scoring guard.
I would say metrics. I always talk about metrics.
So you know what though, and I'll pose this to our audience. If we got any college coaches listening, chime in on us. Let us know what are some of your preferences for your program. Is it to have a combo guard, or to have a pure point guard, or to have a little bit of both on your roster? You know what I mean? So some of the college coaches that are out here that are chiming in and showing love, go ahead and chime in. Let us know what y'all looking for.
I definitely was about to
reach out to a coach to see what's up.
No, I actually have a list, because I was asking this question.
I'm getting feedback over here. I think it's good. Do y'all hear it in the headphones?
It's the fan. Go ahead, Juan. Go ahead, Juan.
And so I had a conversation with several coaches about their preference, what they seen, what they were looking for as far as guards. You know what I mean? And first of all, they was talking about like the older kids and what they look for in the older kids. And then I add the question like, so what are y'all looking for point guards? Because I got a couple guards that, I'm looking to get recruited. How can y'all help me? this is what was said from a lot of, this is Clemson, how we guard bigger players, can he shoot, and his toughness. A lot of college coaches don't let you dominate the ball in your hands like in our day.
So, I mean, being able to make quick and decisive decisions, sufficient, I mean, being efficient with your play, being efficient with the ball more than anything else, because like you're saying, the game is not centered around a guard having that ball the whole time.
Right.
Yep.
Unless you Shea Gilgeous and you 6'6".
But it's the NBA game. We're talking about, we're talking about systems.
It's non-negotiable. This is Clemson.
Toughness and grit.
It's non-negotiable. If they don't have that, I won't even look at it.
That's
Clemson.
Neal.
I'm gonna go to another coach because I was just having this conversation for I was asking questions for little guards. You know what I mean? And I'll be trying to express to my little guards that if you're going to be little, you got to be different in some way, shape, or form.
Yeah.
If you're not different, you already selling yourself short.
You got to be a dog.
There's no way to be recruited under 6 foot in this world if you're not different.
You got to be Deontay Neal. If you're watching this, you have to be Deontay Neal. If you small, you got to be Deontay Neal.
If you small.
Yeah, if you small. That's what
you check all those boxes you just said right
Yeah, exactly.
Yep. This is about a small guard. Here's another ACC coach. Set the tone defensively.
Yep.
They have to make it uncomfortable for the other primary ball handler. Vocal leader on offense and defense has to understand pick and roll and how to create advantages of switching defense. 35 to 40% on catch and shoot. Great at pushing the tempo. I want to play fast every chance I get. Great locker room guy. Everyone has to want to play with you and like you. He said reserve guard coach probably checks 2 or 3 of those boxes as well.
That sounds like Carolina. No, I'm just saying they play fast, push the tempo. What grit, defensively set the tone. I mean, you look at the guards they've had.
Up his connects.
Oh no, I don't want him to.
I told him the first one was from Clemson.
First one was from Clemson, so we got that nugget.
I'm gonna even tell you a D2 coach.
Don't sit your phone down. I'm gonna steal it.
This is a D2 coach. If this kid is under 6 foot, Dijuan, this is what I'm looking for. Speed. How fast is he with the ball and without the ball in his hand? On ball defender. He needs to be an elite on ball defender. He has to be able to distribute the ball and he needs to be able to make an open 3. That's a D2 coach.
I know a little point guard like that could be molding themselves into that mode right now.
Let's see. This is, and I'm gonna drop it on this one. This is Central.
NC Central.
NC Central.
I like it. That's where I graduated from.
And shout out
he
to
better
Central.
be angry and nasty. Pest on ball.
The Veil don't play, bro.
Pest on ball defender. Got to be able to beat guys off the bounce. Most important thing to see is how can they pass off the ball screen? Little guys struggle to pass.
Metrics.
I haven't recruited many little guards because I try to hold them to your standard. Got to be able to get 2 feet in the paint at will and make the pass and make shots. I need a certified killer coach. I don't want nobody that's little that's not certified as a killer. Also, little guys aren't getting their shots off in D1 verse 6'5", etc.
This is great insight, boy. I hope people
that's real.
Great insight right here.
Real talk, though.
You're getting it off the text thread. Fresh
This
off
is off a text thread. These are
hot
coaches.
light on, baby.
This is hot.
Hot light on. Keep reading.
Yeah, I'm about to keep reading.
Yeah, go ahead. You in your bag right now.
He better be fast as hell and take care of the ball. And he better be a B on defense coach if he is under 6 feet.
Metrics. There you go again.
That's Mercer University.
Nah, that's setting the trend right there. I mean, if y'all out there listening right now, point guards, not combos, point guards. It's okay to be a point guard.
Right.
It's okay.
But this is what they want.
And it's a lot of coaches are honestly that I speak to, they want the common point guard. The reason they don't get them is because everybody now is so consumed with being a combo.
Okay.
So you're taking combo guards and trying to make them point guards. So that's why you got a Caleb Love out there that's still in school that should have been left.
But guess what? With Caleb Love,
that's a great
you got a traditional point guard beside Caleb Love, Jaden Bradley.
Yeah.
Right.
See, now Caleb Love is not on the ball. Jaden Bradley on the ball. Caleb Love get to be who he is.
Yeah, get to be a combo guard.
So let me ask y'all this. Again, I like this. We're getting into like more nerdy basketball talk. Yeah. So do you think that the evolution of the game has pushed out that traditional point guard in lieu of the combo guard now?
I advise all kids to look at the college level because everybody not making it to the NBA. Mm-hmm. And so if you only look at the NBA and the way they're playing, a lot of these
you're selling yourself short.
You're selling yourself short because everybody not going to make it to that level to where they're playing drop coverage only. You're not seeing blitz on pick and roll. You're not seeing underneath the screens. No, you're not. A lot of switching is going on in the NBA because they done played a lot of small ball. Mm-hmm. But I think the purity in basketball is at the college level. Mm-hmm. And if kids start just analyzing where they are now to where they're about to go, you have to get there before you get to the NBA. And I think a lot of kids are skipping the step to saying, oh, I'm just going to
give me my league game. Give me the league game versus give me having a
league game.
Right.
Yeah, you don't know if you're gonna.
But you ain't in college ready yet.
You're not even college ready.
Some of the best advice that I've heard somebody give. Shout out Trey, Chad senior night. What was it on Friday? Shout out Trey. He ran an independent program for a while.
Oh yeah, for sure.
He was over at CP3 for a little bit, but he said something that's always stuck with me. He said, like y'all should be looking at the college, like college basketball with the sound on. Because the commentators a lot of times
are giving you the jewels. They're giving you the jewels. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And like college basketball is so much closer to what like you should be getting ready for and what's going to translate even at the high school level.
Yeah.
In comparison to the NBA.
Mm-hmm. I believe so. I think from my little alumni weekend experience and going to see them practice and things of that nature, I can honestly say a lot of kids right now are cheated from the experience of learning how to honestly play defense. Mm-hmm. Because in college, you're going to have to play defense to even step on the floor. Mm-hmm. Yeah. And then the other things that I gave you will be bonuses. Like if you're an elite level shooter, okay, I'll give you that opportunity to be that. But if you're not that, you still got to play defense to stay on the floor. Right. Because shots don't always go in.
Yeah.
And so I think the purity for me is always in collegiate basketball. And I try to say, okay, who are the top guards in college? Mm-hmm. How much pick and roll is ran in college? Or is it more a pro style, motion style offense where you still got to be able to get in the paint, make plays, make others better and things of that nature? Mm-hmm. The NBA is all pick and roll. That's all it is. Finding different mismatches that make sense and you put them in pick and roll. Mm-hmm. And then you find the open area, whether it's the lift up, whether it's the roll guard, whether it's the zoom action, whether it's a DHO, but it's not too many things that make the NBA complicated. Once you get there, it's really about one-on-one situations and mismatches.
Get into your spaces.
In college, there is help.
It's sitting there.
Waiting on you. In college, I know the guy sitting in the corner and shooting 27% from the three-point line. I'm not guarding him.
The coaching is better.
Coaching is better. The floor shrinks. You have to be smarter, I think, in college than you do in the NBA.
Oh, yeah.
Most definitely.
It's like when that manager get the promotion. He gets lazy. That's what the NBA is. You know, you work your way up. You're a hard worker in the warehouse. And then when you get the promotion, you lazy as fuck. So that's what the NBA is. Lazy basketball. You get what I'm saying?
Damn, we can go a couple different ways with this. I agree with you. Yeah. Well, a little bit. I think also that word entitlement comes in. When a star player get paid more than the coach. But now you're starting to hear this same sentiment from a lot of college coaches.
Yeah.
Shout out Penny over at Memphis. He done went out and he done made that.
Coach at UCLA.
Who was the coach that just left? He just stepped down. ACC coach. I can't remember.
Talking about Tony.
Leonard Hamilton.
Florida State.
The money though. Like,
this is the segue. I'm getting this there.
We were just talking about that bread yesterday.
Yeah, to where now coaches they make the statement like it's hard to even coach kids because of the transfer portal and the NIL, and
especially the older coaches too. Because I think it's hard for them to even relate to the mindset of some of these younger guys coming up in the game now. Like it kind of alludes to everything we've been saying leading up to it. It's like, you got these guys that are entitled. Don't want to be position players.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Don't want to play defense. You know, you got guys that are really basically just there.
Yeah.
You know, there for the accolades, there for the money now. You know what I mean? So now it's kind of hard to motivate you to want to be best and be the best version of you for me, like it used to be when you like, bro, I got the bag. I don't really got to do shit for you.
And I can hit the transfer portal.
I get the transfer portal, go somewhere else.
Baycott talked about it. Did y'all see that? Where he said, man, I stayed because like I was getting $1 million. Like I was able to.
Correct.
Why would I leave?
And he's invested it.
I got hotels.
Right.
I would advise any kid who goes into the draft and gets information and they find out that they may not be as high as what they want it to be, to stay in school and get the money and have a head start. Because that's something that I honestly never got. If I was able to make money off my name and have a head start, my life could have been totally different moving forward, because not only do I get a degree, a lot of these kids, like I was speaking to a college coach yesterday, come in as a junior.
Yeah.
They're going to get a degree already, and then you still have 6 years. So you're going to get a master's on top of the degree, on top of I just made roughly $750,000.
And Dijuan, just to make sure that the audience, they're understanding what you're saying. I imagine you're speaking about like the new JUCO rule, in which like you get 2 years in JUCO that doesn't count against your eligibility.
Shit, you could even do 3.
Okay.
Because you can redshirt a year in JUCO, play 2 years in JUCO, and then go play 5 years in college.
Right. And that's what I'm educating on.
And you're saying that they're coming in as juniors because they did 2 years as a JUCO.
So like 2 years, you can get an associate's degree at your junior college.
Yep. Yeah.
And then you graduate from there. You go into your regular college as a freshman on the court, but a junior in the classroom. You probably roughly 40 to 60 hours off of having now a bachelor's. So now you get a bachelor's, but you're still just a sophomore or junior on the court, but you done graduated college. Now you get your master's and you're still in school. And if you started at roughly, say the bottom is, for some schools it's 50. For VCU, they're starting out kids at $350,000 per year. And this is like being a worker. So when I go in, I made $350,000 as a freshman. Guess what? I scored 11 points per game. Now UCLA calling, Duke, Carolina, and they're offering me $600. Either I take the 6 or I stay at my school and they probably give me $500. Okay, I'll probably stay. You know what I mean? I get $500 the next year. Now the next year I done average 16 and 5.
Now you definitely about to go with
now I'm worth $1.2 million in my third year, and I got 3 degrees before I even get out of being in the real world.
You good.
When I step into the real world, not only am I a million up, but I got the paperwork now that whenever this ball stop bouncing,
I'm good to go.
I'm set for life.
I'm gonna give you one even better than that now. So
it's
just putting it all together.
And for me, like
you don't gotta go, like going pro is
it's icing on the cake. It's icing.
Yeah, but to me, it's not even smart if you're going second round anymore.
Right.
No,
because of like D League. If you look at what it pays, it's like 38 to 50 or 70K.
You could be 10 for certain.
You're making minimum wage after taxes.
Yes, and the thing is, like you said, VCU. It's not even like the highest of the wages. Like it's 350 across the board. NIL. That's the average NIL. That means somebody's making higher.
Higher than that.
Let me add something to this.
I mean, that's a 12th player.
Let me add something to this. Say school is $30,000 a year. They're paying for school and giving you the $30,000 a year on top of your NIL. On top of, if you're a financial aid kid, you're also getting
all that too.
All of the grants,
the Pell Grant,
all of that as well.
So one thing I would say too is also to those who are watching.
Shout out
to the refund.
Shout out to them in their lot, because I wish I was able to benefit. And it is a lot of people right now. Even the 1983 NC State team is now suing for their money as well. Everybody is. They want back pay.
And they should get it. Shoot, it was actually, we could have went back and applied to get our money back when we played ball.
Yeah.
I missed the deadline because I wasn't in the know. It was actually a deadline, but they put it about 2 years ago. They put it out there to where if you played, you had a deadline to apply to get refunded back your money that you paid for school, even if you had scholarship.
Damn. And I would have asked you let me hold something.
You got it too, bro. But like what I was saying though, so we've been talking about the whole JUCO 6-7 years now. So I'm gonna tell you the actually even more cheat code to that now. The dual enrollment in high school. Yeah. So like in a sense, you got kids that may do early college. That's one thing, but you can actually do dual enrollment to where you can start taking your college class instead of being a regular student that, you know, as you get about 11th grade, you only have about 2 or 3 classes. You can start taking your online college courses now. So now you're graduating with an associate degree. So one of our players, 2 of our players are doing that now. They're going to graduate with an associate degree, go in as a freshman already with 1 degree.
With associates already.
Already with associates.
Out of high school.
Out of high school.
Yeah.
And then on top of that, like you say, you go to JUCO round and all this, you're just adding. So you're making money while you're also stacking up your degrees. Yeah. So when you're preparing yourself, so now you're using the system versus the system.
Correct.
And that's how it has to be. You got to look at it like, bro, like the old saying say, and we all know this saying, make the money, let the money make you.
Hey, kids, and if y'all listening, they dropping jewels. This is why we get on y'all about doing your work in class and staying ahead and not waiting till the last minute, because I got a son. We all got sons in here. This is why we on y'all ass. To get the associate's degree in high school, that's less years.
More money.
More money.
Don't let the money make you. And there's plenty of money and opportunity out here for these kids. That's why it blows me when they don't really put forth the work inside of their craft, because y'all have the options to not have to wait till you get to the pinnacle to say, I can take care of my mom. I can take care of my dad.
You can do that on the path there. Man. You can do that on the path.
It used to be the league. Now it's
now it's college.
I heard Bryce Young say that before he got drafted. He was like, man, I bought a house. Like
Henry Williams' son. People probably know Henry Williams, the late Henry Williams at UNC Charlotte. His son, Bryce, he made $100,000. This is real game. $100,000 at Charlotte. Played very well. Nebraska game $350. Igor, who played at UNC Charlotte last year, made $125.
I didn't know you.
He's at Tennessee.
Yeah.
Top 5 team. He starts. He's making $600,000. So, kids, if you just put in the work, sometimes guess what? You may have to go mid-major in order to go to where you're going. And there's nothing wrong with going mid-major to prove yourself.
Or even D2.
And then going,
or even D2.
But if you look at work experience, everybody got to look at an entry-level position.
Yeah.
Start entry. I work my way up the ladder. I do what I'm supposed to do.
Get my experience. Get paid. Yeah.
I'm going to get paid.
And to put this into like real perspective, and again, this is, we have a vast audience to where like we've had people say like, I watch this with my kid. I watch this with XYZ.
We done touched outside the country too, bro.
Boy, I'm telling you.
We touched outside the country now. Man.
So an understanding inside context, like I talked to Mines about this and just putting things in like perspective. The average income in America, and shit, we all black in here. So like average black income is 51 to 53,000. Depending male or female.
Yeah.
So what we're talking about is that VCU, the minimum that you're getting is $350. So think about that.
You've already created wealth
for the average person.
You've already created wealth for your family.
But then, like you throwing 600. Like again, we know where the high end is at.
Right.
But there is immense value. Like even 100, the average person, like if you're making $100K a year, you're inside like the top like 5%. Like that just is what it is, right?
Yeah.
So you can go and play basketball in college now. This is something that never had been available prior to like the past 4 years.
Not legally.
Legally.
Not blue chips.
You can put it on tables, but you can legally play basketball and be in the top 5% of earners.
Yeah.
And that's something different. But then again, like we said, like you just go to like major D1s, what the minimum is, like now you're touching 200, 300, 400K.
We ain't even talking about the 5 and 4 stars yet. We still talking about no stars, 2 stars.
Talking about, like for instance, Jaden Bradley, he's a senior, I think. This year, he's making a lot of money for Arizona. If he leaves, he's going to be worth more than $1 million.
Yes, and as it should be.
Yeah.
Does that sound crazy? I may not even get drafted.
Yeah.
I'm staying in college. I'm gonna make this M. I'm gonna invest, do the right thing. If I have to go overseas, cool.
Shout out Baycock.
Right. I'm worth a lot of money, and my parents' life and trajectory is totally different because of me playing basketball in college, not the NBA.
And that makes sense now. We're like, man, why is he at North Carolina so long?
It made sense.
It made sense.
DeVentisa.
Make it.
What is his name?
Franklin Street?
Yeah.
Franklin. What name?
The Banston?
The Banston.
Yeah. Listen, I'm having you get to you.
Okay.
Do y'all understand what BYU is?
That's a Mormon school.
They can't have sex while they're there.
And normally you got to go.
My dog.
And normally you got to do a missionary if you're staying there for a period of time as well. I mean, you got to take a year off and go do missionary work.
My dog said, I'm going celibate for the 6
months. For the 6 meal.
Give you some more intel on that. The Utah Jazz owner is a BYU donor.
Utah.
Not only is that, but he's the owner and founder of Utah Prep.
I already know that.
So when people say 6 to 7 million from a school perspective, from a school perspective, it's like, dang, how he's gonna get that?
But they broke it down though. That's not NIL money though. That's
it's sponsorships, donors.
That's
like
what's the
booster?
Like a pack.
It's like the booster pack. So we ain't even talking about it. NIL
pack is coming from the Utah Jazz owner is
and he caked up.
And they trading away all their good players for picks.
I'm about to tank next year.
Right. Like I said, they trading away all their good players for picks, and they wonder why they got 4 first-round picks for the next 3 years.
That's what I'm trying to tell kids, man. At the end of the day, bust your butt because you can reap the benefits of you working your butt off now. Where you had to have a pipeline when I was playing of a dream to get to the NBA to make the money that y'all can make as a freshman, as a sophomore, as a junior, as a senior. And I would say do whatever you need to do to make sure that you in the number. Because once you get in, it's harder to get out. Now it's a fraternity like anything else. And you kind of just, you're in a job where I get to interview every night to make more money. It's a commission-based job. And I get to show and prove every night. You know what I'm saying? We have a lot of kids that we know. Jalen Withers. You know what I mean? Y'all think he's just in school right now? I mean, that's my guy.
Nah, bro. He's setting himself up for success.
He's trying to set himself up for success. Now, the great thing is you can make a lot of money, but also if you don't hold up your end of the bargain in a job, then also you get a pay cut. So that's also the other side too.
And you got to have financial literacy as well, though. You got to have that financial literacy.
That was the part of where I wanted to go to.
I got you.
Where I think that's probably like one of the biggest spaces as us as parents, in the future parents is moving forward, is that the way that the arena has changed, there is a big emphasis on making sure that your kid has proper financial literacy. And make sure that we as a community, because if not, now it just becomes like exploitation and it's just blowing the bag quick. Like it's just money in and out the door. Or as in Armando Baycott. And again, shout out to the Tar Heels. We got ass beat by Duke, but
but shout out to Baycott. He sound real smart when he started talking about that money. Shout out to Baycott.
We got smacked.
But with him, like
God told me,
you hear him talk about like shit. I was inside the finance school. My roommate was this. His dad did that. They put me on this play, and like whether it worked out or not.
No, you gotta.
Oh, it's gonna work.
Good.
You gotta set yourself up to be around the right people. Correct. You know, and not just basketball wise, like you were saying, alluding to what Baycott was saying. His roommate was someone that was on the opposite side of the field of what he did. You know what I mean? But being a person that was open minded.
Well, you got capital.
You got capital. You know what I mean? Being open minded to learn things that is not comfortable to you.
Yeah.
You know, that's not in your field of life always. Is you know what I mean? So you got, like my saying always go, you got to be comfortable being uncomfortable.
That's a fact.
I'll piggyback off what you're saying.
Because I know he didn't know that from
the bros.
From from the brother and the fam. Because I see his little brother all the time because I was still in grassroots a lot. And I watch how his little brother move. And I've been fortunate enough to meet his dad and his mom. And you knew like, darn, they couldn't have seen that. They only knew that they put Armando in a great situation and he was able to learn the necessary things and be around those people to now progress you in a different realm. And that's what really college is about, because for me, I was from West Boulevard. I would have never seen the things or heard the things that I heard if I didn't go to college.
Being in a diverse situation.
Yes. So it helped me learn more about life itself than what I was able to be taught. Yeah. So then it gave me a different landscape. Like, okay, I need to put my money in RCA, RA, and all this, the capital, credit, finances, bank accounts, all this good stuff. Yep. I would have never learned any of that if I didn't go to school.
And guess what got you
brush
there?
My shoulders.
That round rock, that
round rock. And that's why I'll be like, I fell in love with it because it gave me so much after that. Even when the ball stopped bouncing, the relationship that I was get and grow with, I'm like, darn, okay, I can pick up my phone and call one of the top guys in Bank of America.
Listen, we all connected because of that round rock.
Because of
the round rock. If I wouldn't have got into that, I wouldn't have met him. I wouldn't have met him. Wouldn't have met you.
I've been competing against Wayne for forever.
For forever.
So
that's what
I guess as we start turning it back into like a basketball conversation, in which it still is, but we kind of went to like the business side of basketball.
Yep.
I like to kind of turn it back to like the skill set side of basketball.
Okay.
So we do have a guy, just to name a couple, like Rob Dillingham, Aiden Holloway, a Steph Curry. I didn't see we didn't see the pictures. Like you have trained Jaden Bradley, just brought him up. Like you've trained a lot of high level talent. And again, we got trainers right here that work from like elementary all the way up through high school and college.
Man, you a trainer too, nigga. Don't be just pointing over here.
Listen. I'm just
you see how I threw him on the spot too.
I'm just hosting right now.
Okay. I'm telling you. But I'm gonna throw you in.
But nonetheless, what makes a good trainer? We've had a bunch of conversations about what like critiques make, one might say. What actually makes a good trainer?
I think the understanding of the player, what system they're in, what system they're going to, how far they're going, and actually really diving deep into the guy, the individual guy. Like as a trainer, I'm gonna keep it hot. Like foundationally in elementary school, I'm teaching a lot of generalities, the things that they need to just be able to go out and be efficient and compete.
Yeah.
You need to be able to handle the ball. You need to know what pressure feels like and be able to handle the pressure in elementary school.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You're going to turn the ball over a lot. But if you can have a foundation of, I know I can handle the ball, I can make an open shot, I'm learning how to communicate, then I did my job in elementary school.
Okay.
You know what I mean? When I get to middle school, then we start diving a little bit deeper into personality and who you are as an individual and building the identity in middle school. 6th, 7th, and 8th grade, I feel like kids start defining themselves.
I think that can we pause on that? I don't know if I've heard that yet, but I think that's like hyper personality and like who you are on
as a person
and on the court, and how those things relate. And how do you want that to actually translate?
Correct. Because I think in elementary school, a lot of kids get away with athleticism.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So to me, it's like building a foundation to find out who the kid is. 6th, 7th, and 8th, I truly dive into the identity and the personality of that kid.
Yeah.
So 6th, 7th, and 8th grade, I'm trying to find out who you are, who you're not, and dive into who you're going to be by the time 9th grade get there, and then perfect who you are. You're going to be different than Jaden Bradley, than Wayne, than QJ, than Trey. Y'all are totally different. I can't train him the way I would train you because y'all got two separate skill sets.
Right.
So in 9th grade, I start finding out who you are because I done went through the training process, and now I know exactly what you're trying to become.
Yeah.
So now let's just specifically dive into this.
Yeah.
Right here. You're going to still have holes in your game that we're going to still have to attack, but I know who you want to be. I can see it. It's right here. I know what you got going on, what you don't.
That's when you turn that skill set into an elite skill set.
Skill set into an elite skill set.
Yeah.
While working on the weaknesses in the dark.
How's that conversation with the dad, Dijuan? You in your bag, but because you training kids, right? And we talk a lot in here. So have you ever had to have the conversation with the dad of he want his son to be Anthony Edwards, but he got a Max Kleber. He got a Max Kleber personality.
You have to take them, and you have to have those. Those are, I'm telling you, as a trainer, you have to be
Max
Kleber in your own skin to not care about the money.
But how does that conversation go? Have you had that? Have you had to do
I
that?
have. Okay. And you have to be willing to not get money.
Yeah.
To be truthful with the parent.
Right. So tell them how
a lot of
money grab.
Yeah, right.
If it's about more so, I'm trying to just pay the bill. I'm about to tell you, i.e., I see it all the time. You see the write-ups, and you see the people who do these write-ups, and you know that kid is not what the write-up said.
Right.
But I need that money. So that write-up is based on.
We talked about that.
Man, there was a kid ranked in the top 2027 class for the longest. We didn't know why.
Stop it.
All right.
Well,
You know what I mean?
Stop it.
And that's because of that money. So for me, it's like, yo, you have to be completely transparent. And I don't mind that because I had to earn everything in school and college. So I don't mind saying, yo, look, this is not, that's cool. Yeah. That's the gauge and where we're trying to go.
But this is what he is.
But let me meet you right where he at. Right. And let me tell you the steps in trying to get
I'm going to tell you what helps you out with that as well, though, Dijuan, is when you're able to let people know that that everything hasn't been just cookies and ice creams with you, with your career. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like for me, I can speak on, like I always say, I can speak from every aspect of playing basketball. Yeah. I've been the player that red-shirted, that set the bench, that came behind somebody, that starred, short leash, long leash, neon light, black light, none of that light. I've been every part of that. Yeah. And when you can actually speak from that perspective of how it's a marathon. Yeah. You know what I mean? We can't sprint. We can't skip steps. We have to. I was talking to a parent before I came today, and I was just telling her, I was like, understand, I get it. You want it, but it's not, everything is not going to come right now. Yeah. There's steps. Yes. There's steps and stages to this thing. And once you as a parent and a trainer can come to that same equal level and understand it's about getting the best for that kid at each level. Like you're saying, there's levels to it. There's an elementary level, there's a middle school level. Then we start getting to high school. Then we start really focusing on the elite aspect of everything. How to really be the best version of yourself. That's going to be the recruitable version. Yeah.
There it is, the recruitable version of yourself. And to piggyback on what he's saying, like I've dealt with every emotion, like you said. I've been a backup. I've had to work my way up to stepping into a starter role. You know what I'm saying? I've had to earn a scholarship, earn a starter position, nothing being given to you, not being ranked, not having no stars besides your name, not knowing what it feel like to even be a star, being left off lists, not being recruited. I've experienced all of that. The one thing that I try to continue to tell these kids is, I'm you. Like, I don't deal with a lot of McDonald's All-Americans. I'm dealing with kids that when I look in your face, I can tell that you are concerned with your recruitment. I can tell that you looking over your shoulder because you knowing like you on the short leash. I know what that feels like, honestly speaking. I know how that looks on the court. I know how that plays in your game. I know how it plays with your confidence, your mindset. And I know how much work you still put in the dark while still being told, bro, don't shoot that shot. So for me, I can relate. And I'm very relatable to every aspect of what they go through each and every day. You know what I mean? My thing is, you got to still chop wood every single day. Because at the end of your journey, you're going to look back and say, well, darn, I'm glad I kept chopping wood because now, I wasn't ranked, but school free. I'm making $150,000. Yeah. Family good. I get to go out here and do what I'm supposed to do. And I ain't had no stars beside my name. I ain't had nobody looking at me. It was one coach who fell in love, walked in the gym and offered me a full ride. Yeah. And now I'm doing exactly what I want to do for free. And that's all I give to the kids. It's like, I'm an underdog, so to speak. I wasn't one of the kids that was highly recruited. I was looked over. I was small. It was a lot of no's before it was yeses. I was the guy that in our time it was newspaper articles. If your full name wasn't in the newspaper, you weren't popping.
If you didn't get that full name or at least that first initial and last name,
you wasn't nice. Nobody cared about you.
If you got simple last name, you probably had under 10 points.
Yeah. You had under 10 points. You didn't have 10.
Harris, White, 7.
That means you had 7.
You had 7. Now you see Wayne White or Dijuan Harris, you cooked that night, bro. Or if you see D Harris or W White, that means you had a good game as well.
You had the newspaper.
You had the newspaper.
Kids got social media that where
as soon as the game over with, they already
and they can look good because it's all highlights.
Whether you play good or bad, you get to
niggas supposed to highlights.
Yeah,
you know what I mean.
That 4-point highlight tape.
Yeah. And then no. It might be 12, but he scored like 8 in the layup line.
And I always ask kids, I get it because you do got to change with the time, so to speak. And that's what the promotion of it is. But I always tell kids, make sure your work ethic and what you putting out there is matching up to that. Yeah. Because college coach is going to go look at a full film. And when they do that, you don't want to be looking like you trying to trick somebody.
Well, let's keep it a buck with him, too. One last point to that college. He just said college coaches in highlights. College coaches look at the full film, and they giving you literally a minute to about 30 seconds, and they're looking to see.
So you're kind of right where I was going to go. We did have a question. So we kind of like having
I got you.
A freestyle conversation, but there's a couple questions that's coming up as we're doing it. So I might as well address it as it happens. We did have one. Shout out DJ, son at Concord. No, Country Day.
Country Day, I got you.
Shout out DJ. That's my kid for 15 years. That's my guard.
Hoop Dream.
Oh, my bad. I'm
DJ, I was going to ask you about that.
My Cooker.
Yeah, yes,
but he sent in a question. He said, talk about players that have D1 aspirations but not D1 work ethic.
You're not going D1. Yeah. D1 aspirations, but no D1 work ethic. You're not.
So what is D1 work ethic for all the kids that's sitting and watching?
How does that look? Like morning?
Extra time. Are you putting in extra time to your craft?
Okay.
And when I say your craft, I mean not just
the basketball,
the gym, getting the basketball side of it, but how are you eating? How's your conditioning? It's more so with the D1 thing. I feel like it's more so the lifestyle and the intangibles more so than the skill. Because if I'm a D1 coach and I come to your game, I already know you're skilled enough to play.
Yeah.
So are you a great teammate, though? Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? What is your coach going to say about you day in and day out about, are you the first one in the gym and the last one out? Do you come right on time every day? Or you're a guy that's 15 minutes early?
Let me ask you this. All right, so I think that there are certain ones that jump off the page when you talk about like D1. Like typically, if you 6'8" and you can dribble the ball decent, you're going D1, right?
Yeah.
But
I'm talking about the kids that's 5'9" and 6'4". I'm talking to those.
All right, that's
so
why
those.
So
Jaden Bradley, because you coached him.
Yeah.
Jaden Bradley went
to that. To what,
I
so
made
5'9" to 6'4". What does, and I think Trey was trying to get you to break down this. What is that daily?
Yeah, what does it look like daily?
Like what does that actually look like?
For a 5'9" kid, I'm getting up at 5 a.m. I'm doing workouts immediately. Say this is out of school, so this is in the summer. So 5 a.m. I'm working out at 6 a.m., 6 to about 7:30. After that, I'm taking a 30-minute break. I'm doing agilities. Now working on my conditioning, my body. After that, plyometrics, stretching, mobility, hips. I see a lot of kids with tight hips now that don't have hip twitches.
I was just telling somebody that I was doing my hips.
They can't guard because their hips tight.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You can't sit down if you got tight hips. So now we're working on the plyometrics of the game. I probably have a break, have a smoothie, protein shake, probably about 11 o'clock. Guess what? I'm in the weight room. 11 about 12:15. I'm in the weight room. I take a break. I go eat lunch. Now I'm back in the gym for just shots. One about 2:30, I'm in there getting shots. Then I go eat lunch. Now I'm back in the gym probably 3:30, 4 o'clock. And I'm going over concepts, meaning concepts that I constantly see in basketball. For me, I constantly see pick and roll. I'm working all pick and roll coverages the whole training. I'm constantly that if I'm not in pick and roll, I'm doing lift ups. I'm coming off flare screens. I'm coming off catch and shoots. I'm coming off one dribble pull ups. I'm coming off floaters. Coming off maybe different crafty finishes in transition, because those are the shots that I generally see all the time. So I'm specific in my workout with what I see, not general stuff. You know what I'm saying? In the last 10 seconds, I do need to have a go-to move. If you ain't got a go-to move right now, you need to have one that no matter what is going on in the game, when you get the ball, I know this move going to work. It's only if I make it or if I miss it. But the shot is getting off.
It's going to get off clean.
10 out of 10
clean.
times every single time. I don't see a lot of kids with just a go-to that clock going down, flatten out. I know what spot I'm going to. I know when I'm going to shoot it every single time. And I don't care if you know it.
Yeah,
I know I'm doing it and I'm still going to get it off. There's nothing you can do about it.
I had one of them just simple too. It's just a jab, left bump, and I'm going to get to my hop, and I'm going to shoot over you every single time.
And then I do nutrition, and I generally did film. And that was a regular day.
That's a big key. You said film.
Yes, because I don't think a lot of kids honestly can get better IQ-wise unless they are dialed into film. If you don't watch film consistently all the time, you're selling yourself short, because you'll start seeing how many shots you leaving on the floor, what possessions you could have scored in that you wasn't aggressive in. You can honestly see every single mistake that you make and that your teammates are making. And then you can go into the next practice and be like, all right, I can help him too. And I can help him because I just watched what we was doing wrong. And now we can honestly just fix the issue that we just saw.
Right. I think where you're at is a good part. And almost, I guess it makes sense to start rounding some of these conversations around, like, you are the point guard. And there's more 6'3" to 5'9" basketball players than there is like the 6'4" and ups. So as a point guard, what does leadership actually look like? Like, I think that's a tangible that's thrown out there often, and people like, we want somebody that's a leader. Sometimes guards and players don't necessarily know what that looks like. Again, we are inside the pampered generation, to where whether it's their parents advocating for them, it's, you know what I mean, a bunch of different things that's inside the way. So like, they don't necessarily have to lead and or have been put in a space to lead until you get to high school, you get somewhere like that. As a point guard, what does leadership actually look like?
What Wayne said, like being uncomfortable and making uncomfortable comfortable.
I was just about to say that, another cut y'all, because being a leader is the most uncomfortable position ever, because you have to be the one, a voice of reasoning that no one wants to hear. You know, it's the voice that we just saying that because Coach said that. Nah, it's what we need. You know, it's being selfless, because you're literally putting everyone else before you. Every day you're putting everyone else before you. You know, you're having to, like you say, be the first one at practice, be the last one to leave. You're checking the temperature of everyone all the time. You know, as a point guard, I remember it'd be times somebody might not even say nothing, but I know I see the body language, like, okay, I gotta get bro a shot. And I come tapping the button. Don't worry about it. Next one coming to you, bro. You know what I mean? It's those type of things. You know, you got to keep everybody happy, even the prima donnas, because, you know, the scorers think for themselves. They don't think for everybody else. But you want that big to rebound. You better give them a pick and roll. Get them a post up.
Give them,
you know, man. Give him the ball one or two times, even if he throw the ball over the rim. Now you say, "Hey, bro, I came to you.
Good job.
I came to you. Now is what you gonna do with it?"
And that's a fact.
You know, so, and everything is not always leadership on the basketball court, and that's what kind of gets thrown behind. You know, put on the back burner. They say everybody think it's leadership on the court. Nah, it's what you do off the court. It's how you carry yourself. You know what I mean? It's what you doing. Are you in film study? Are you reading? How is your mental health? That's one thing I wish you would have said when you was talking about, you know, the daily day. You got to have that mental health moment as well. Like, you have to take care of that part, because there's so much pressure that our kids are putting on themselves just based on what they see daily on social media.
Yeah.
Correct.
Even the parents, like, talked to a parent today, she's like, I catch myself, hey, look at this, look at that, look at this. And their kid was like, I already know.
Yeah.
But it's like, even the parents are getting caught up in it.
And now I'm glad you said that, because I had a conversation with a parent not too long ago, and I just said, yo, you know how you got a horse and you got tunnel vision?
Mm-hmm.
Instead of looking at the distractions of the world on social media, you got to focus on your personal journey with your kid only.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? And if you focus solely on what your kid is, where they're at, and where you're trying to get them to go, it'll negate all these other extra distractions around you. You won't get caught up in these rankings that people are publicizing in middle school, because a lot of people in the middle school sector, they looking for these rankings to validate their kid.
Yeah.
It's all about validation.
It is.
I just want you to say my kid nice. And if he gets that, then my kid is having an awesome day.
Right.
But my kid day ain't good if I don't go on here and see my kid is in the top 15.
Right.
So my thing is, parents, just be realistic about the expectation. The expectation should be free school. If at the end of the day you're focusing on that,
free education,
none of that other stuff before that matters. It wouldn't even be a distraction. My son now 3, and now from the things and the experiences that I've had, and I learned, Dijuan, you wasn't ranked. You didn't get no notoriety. You earned everything. You knew that you had to be the toughest, grittiest, nastiest kid on the floor every night. You didn't get an option to have a night off.
Make no new friends.
No new friends. You didn't get a night to not be sensational.
Nah.
You're small. That kid that's 6'4" gets the option to have an off night, because he's still at 6'4". The next morning he wake up.
Yeah.
You're gonna be 5'9", my G.
Yeah.
As soon as you wake up in the morning, you don't get no leeway to have a night off.
So it starts over again the next day.
Over again. So for me, understanding that, I know my son is going to be small. I have to have the ability to put in him those same intangibles so he's able to survive. And then he got to do the rest.
And you leaving out that you lightning quick too.
Yeah. And he has to do the rest.
Yeah, you athletic.
To go back to his point about the leadership thing, I think a lot of kids are scared because I have to be accountable for me.
Yeah.
I have to be first in the runs. I have to show up early. I have to leave late.
That's the uncomfortableness. You got
I have to be that coach on the floor that's not scared to say, bro, what are you doing? You're not supposed to be there. Get your ass over there.
Yeah.
And to that kid, that might be a 5-star. And I don't know if I got the ability or if I'm comfortable in myself enough to say, what you doing, bro? Right. Get your ass over there. Right. Because I'm still low key in this world a fan. Yeah. Because of social media, and I see what social media did to him. Yeah. So I don't know if I even had a
voice to even say what I need to say. Yeah.
Especially when the coach don't say nothing. You want me to say something?
Yeah.
But
he tell the coach to shut up.
The thing is that you notice is that like the person that will say that is the person that garners the most respect from that kid.
Yeah.
Like the yes man, the person that allows them to do whatever. Like they cool and they're happy that they do it. That's not the person they listen to.
Right.
You can listen to me, but not listen to the coach though.
Yeah.
So you might listen to some things I say, but you respect me as a hooper. Mm-hmm. But for the leadership part, bruh, I can go over your head and tell coach to shut up and do what I want to do with him. So how much can I lead him when he really, after a while, he might pull the plug on me and be like, bro, get him out.
Yeah.
Get him out of here.
Yeah.
Get him up out of here, bro. Ain't nobody listening to that.
Yeah.
Well, that's why being the leader is very unattractive. It's very unattractive. I mean, like you say, you the ugly girl sitting in the corner. You ain't the bad girl walking in, the Cinderella ball. You that
right.
Like Dre say, those who sit off in the corner. You know what I mean?
To y'all coaches. So why aren't the best players leaders?
The accountability piece. I think it depends where they at.
Let's make sure we get that inside like a very clip.
That's a really good question. Yeah. I want to know personally, why aren't the best players on your team leaders? Especially if you have a not so vocal point guard who understands what leadership really is. because I see a lot of that like coaching now and then watching it, and I'm like, well, darn, the point guard don't really say nothing.
So
I see a lot more mute point guards
so
than
let me
I
ask
do
you this.
talkative ones.
How many? Let me see how I can frame this. Do you think that most and you almost put it at like the idea of like the small forward, the shooting guard-ish type player, right? In which a lot of times we do look at the point guard as being the leader because of he's the person that's had to kind of work for it a little bit more. Mm-hmm. It's harder. Could a part of the answer be the fact that a lot of these kids that you're talking about, like the best player on the team, they were gifted to it and not had to work for it as much. And sometimes that could be inside a different variety. Like it's not necessarily just like you were gifted because you didn't deserve it, but you could be gifted.
Your dad made a way, or anybody made a way.
It could be like you pick up handling and shooting really well, quick. It was easy to you. So you didn't necessarily have to like go through the trenches of like somebody that got 2 left feet. And they actually became
or they don't have good hand-eye coordination.
Right.
I don't want to drop names. North Meck last year had a bona fide leader to me.
Okay.
That was their best player, even though he was a leader too.
Player. He wasn't the point guard. But he was a bona fide leader that every night y'all knew what
he was selfless too.
What time it was.
Selfless.
He was selfless.
You know what I'm saying? And I led where y'all seen me lead. You seen the energy I was gonna bring. I wasn't shying away from no big moment. Y'all jump on my back. I'm with whatever. If I lose, I'm going down. Y'all, I'm taking all raps
energy with you from the start
to finish. Now, this year it's a different kid. It is the point guard this year. You know what I'm saying? Because he had to, I believe, mature into that position. Last year he saw it. This year he was able to mature into that position.
Normally, like you say, we just traditionally have always just concluded that the point guard is your leader.
Yeah.
You know, we've all kind of concluded that to just a stint of being in the game that we grew up watching and grew up playing. Yeah. You know, all the point guards we knew, the kids, the Mark Jacksons, the John Stocktons, you know what I mean? Even the Gary Paytons, like they commanded respect. Right. You know, to where we look back, like I said, those were the players I looked up to that I wanted to be like, that I tried to mold myself as a leader behind. You know, I think right now, the generation doesn't look at players as far as leaders. And I feel like coaches, us in general, we have just kind of just nominated the best player as a leader, as a captain in a sense like that, you know what I mean? To where we just give them that title to make it easy. Yep. But when it's really a situation where sometimes the best player shouldn't be a captain or the leader. Correct. You know what I mean? It's okay. Yeah. Because like I say, it's a very unattractive role to have. And a lot of times your top scorer doesn't want to look unattractive. And like you said, the piggyback of what you're saying, the leader 9 times out of 10 ain't the star. It's the Grant Williams. It's the player that cares about everybody, cares about the team, cares about the program. Not saying the stars don't, but you know, they're in that role for a reason. Yeah. Correct. You know what I mean? And like we talk about who they are as a person, their personality, that's just what it is. Yeah. And that's what you know from an earlier standpoint, because if you see it, a lot of leaders that are leading now, they've been leading for a long time. And you just like I walked in the gym yesterday at middle school girls game, and I heard the girl before I seen her. Meaning that she, hey, get back, slide here. Hey, pick up. I got 5, you get 2. I was like, damn, who is that?
Right. She talking like it.
Talking like I don't know what. And it was like, now I identify where the voice came from. Now this is my favorite player for the rest of the game. Mm-hmm. I think they may have scored maybe 6 points, but it was everything else they did to help their team win. Mm-hmm. Like I was telling the girl day after the game, I said, now she used to push her. She missed like 30 layups though, but she talked all game. She had everybody in the right position. Defense being called in here. Hey, slide back. No, we in this, we in that. Pick up here. It's like, yo, I love that. Oh, yeah. Talking about an 8th grader come in next year on the varsity program and be the best leader on the team.
Yeah.
I like that.
Yeah. But those are players that are molded that way. Mm-hmm. Correct. You know, you can't train to be a leader. If that makes sense.
Thanks. It got to be something.
I can't get in the gym, and you know what? We can't get them in the gym and be like, yo, okay, we're gonna train this part of it. Nah, that's just something that's just in you, and you're not on you, and you know it takes a big person to be there. So to get back to the point, I think that's why we see a lot of times to where sometimes the best player is not the leader on the team because it's not in their makeup, not in their genetics to do that.
And I got a question I got two questions for the couch because now that we are on leadership. So with that being said, I always be curious to get information. You know what I'm saying? How much team success can you have without leadership?
You want me to take it, or you want to take it?
You start off with it, bro, because you rarely get to answer questions. I want to hear you got dang on.
Yeah, here you
speak
go.
your piece, my boy.
On the podium, I'm asking questions.
Yeah, he the panel host. He don't want to be answering. Now you got to answer this one right here.
All right, you said
how much team success can you have without leadership?
All right, so I guess I answer it a couple ways. There's a way where you can have a lot and a little. A way that you can have a lot is if I almost call these like the narrator coaches, to where they narrate every possession on offense and defense. Swing, dive, gap, XYZ. And again, like there's a part where one could argue that takes the autonomy of leadership away from the point guard. And if you grew up through that coach, you never had to actually. He's calling out diamond when he's making all the communications that a point guard is supposed to do at the free throw line. Like he's doing all those things to where if you have like a narrator coach that calls and does everything, it's not necessarily as important to have a leader.
Yeah,
I think the spectrum. As soon as you get away from having a good narrator coach, and we have some great narrator coaches in the city, and they've won at the highest level, but those are like far in between. Those are more rare.
You're gonna have to drop some names on that narrating coaching in high school that won a lot.
Well, I need a couple names. I ain't gonna say to prove that. I ain't gonna say high school. I know EYBL. I've seen it.
Okay,
for sure.
And I need a name.
I could throw some, but right now I don't know how a person might take the term narrator coach.
It's not a bad term.
It's not a bad term.
No,
I just
overmanage.
There's been people that have been very successful, but the critique is that, hey, my kid might not have the freedom that I want them to have.
That goes into my next question. I'm gonna wait for you to finish this.
Yeah.
And if you finished, then I'm gonna say, so how is the kid honestly learning if you're narrating every possession?
Oh, listen, I'm not like a big proponent of the narrator coach. I think that that you should probably stop that closer to like
7th grade.
Yeah, like 6, 7, like somewhere middle schoolish. Because of it then bleeds into what you was just asking about, like the leadership part. And I think that again, like those coaches, they're far in between. But what's actually usually what you see is like a team with an okay coach and that needs a really heady point guard or a really heady leader in general. Somebody that can diagnose, all right, hey, I just heard the coach call out that they about to press. Hey, guys, make sure we hear. Hey, big, get your ass in the middle.
Yeah.
Like you got, like get there. They in the 22, you know where you need to be at. Sometimes we love our bigs, but they gonna run to that box over there.
They are.
All the way. And sometimes that guard got to yell and tell them. And like sometimes you need that guard or that player to be able to do that, to be able to recognize and see where maybe, unfortunately, sometimes the coach's shortcomings might be or the other players' shortcomings might be the adjustments that's happening in real time. And I think that if you're not one of those first, your ceiling for success is low. That'd be my answer. Wayne, you gotta answer this now.
So like I feel like, okay, so and we're saying, can a team without a pure leader
have team success?
Team success?
I'm looking at an example that they don't have a leader, And that's why I feel like their season is like this. Like they beat really good teams, but then you'll see them lose to teams that
it don't make sense.
It don't even make sense.
Yeah. And I feel like, it's kind of hard to have success. Like you're going to win games based off talent at times, but to have ultimate, what we call success, you have to have some form of a leader. It may not be a full leader, but you got to have some form of a leader or leaders.
Yeah, because it can be
that the team respects, and they're able to command the best out of their teammates, their brothers or their sisters. You know what I mean?
If I make a quick amendment to go to what you were saying, even with like quote unquote the narrative coach, your best players have to buy into what he's saying.
Yeah,
and that's his own version of leadership as well. To where like if the top 3 people run through a wall for whatever the coach is saying, everybody else has no choice.
Yeah,
but yeah,
and I feel like that's where I think that great area kind of lies, where you can not have the full leader, but you have leaders that are just commanding the respect and being a caveat to the coach, you know what I mean? Being the second voice to that coach and everything, and, being able to kind of run things themselves. I know for me, I always start about, even with training and coaching, I tried to mold my players at the time, even being young, was like, what do you see? To start making them build their IQ and build their own leadership up in their own way. Same way one may lead, he may not, the other one may not lead, but it's like to where they get to a point to where now these are the same kids that coaches are being like, they have a very high IQ for the game, very good feel, very good teammates. You know what I mean? I think that's something that can be very prideful when you're telling a kid, or you're looking at and critiquing a kid, and you're calling that kid a very good teammate. And I feel like when you got great teammates and that who also can lead or be leaders in moments, that's when you find success. But when you have the lack of leadership across the board, you have a lot of me moments. A lot of me moments form into a lot of bad us moments. You know what I mean? And that comes from the lack of leadership. So to your point, I feel like you can win, but to have success, you have to have some form of leadership.
And do you think the leadership, how can I pose this question? From a team success rate, right? They don't have leadership, but does that leadership fall primarily on the head coach? Because I feel like it's easier for players to lead if I can follow my head coach in leading. But if I'm a star player and I have no respect for my head coach.
Now, I feel like the answer to that is 2 different ways. Because now it could be a situation where a star player just feels like they don't need to respect the coach.
So should you get him out of there?
That goes back to trade point.
Get him out of there. Dang, that's thing.
You know what I'm saying? Full circle on that one.
Full circle.
But to say that is like what I've seen kind of witnessed throughout the game over years is that lack of respect. One thing we always had growing up was the respect of an adult, an elder. You respect your elders, respect your adults, be it the good or the bad.
Yeah.
I feel like with now the generation that's changed to, I ain't respecting him unless he respect me, or that type of mindset, or man, I don't like him, so I'm not gonna respect, or I don't like her, I'm not gonna respect her. So I feel like the times has changed as far as that, just total respect for an adult or an elder figure in that role, versus now it's like, man, fuck that nigga. Yeah. You know what I mean? And it's sad to say, but the game has allowed for that to happen.
Correct.
The way we've kind of skipped steps, allow kids to skip steps, to where we put ourselves in a position to where now I got to deal with a daggone kid that don't even fuck with me because he feel like he the best thing since sliced bread.
Yep, you're right.
So to your point is, I think there's 2 caveats to that. It's just the kid that doesn't have the respect in them to respect someone else older. There's also that thing of a coach not earning the respect as well.
Right.
I agree. So you get a twofold with that. And, crazy part about it is we can see the lines of the difference from the outside looking in. They don't. So they feel like a coach has just lost everyone for whatever reason it may be, where it may be like, I just really got a badass apple that just want to be a bad apple.
Yep.
You know what I mean? Versus, that coach ain't, coach did something bad by the kid, you know what I mean? Or didn't do right by kids. So it opens up that mindset to where they are not being respected by their peers or by their players like they should be. So then you get in a position to where, like, yeah, you're going to fail. You definitely going to fail. Trey done got them dipped off on it, didn't he? Okay. Because I'm about to veer off real quick because I got to rant real quick.
Uh-oh.
Yo, I'm getting tired of these athletes acting as if off the court they about that life.
They not.
Like, please stop with the gang signs when you score. Please stop with the flexing like you the strongest person. Like, really, you wouldn't bust you wouldn't bust a grape in a fight, bro. Like, for real. Like, that just that aggravates me sometimes when I see it.
Ain't no more Dennis Rodmans and stuff out here in the world, man.
Ain't no more Ron Artest, bro.
No.
So guys, this is, well, I guess there's 3 soon to be. You'll be a basketball dad soon.
Yeah. In a long time.
Baby girl ain't gonna play no basketball?
Malaya does. She's an 8th grader. I experienced what it feels like to have a coach who may not know what's really going on. And what I try not to do is step on the coach's toes. I just coach my daughter as far as her energy, her effort, her enthusiasm about basketball.
And being a good teammate.
And being a great teammate. Yeah. Everything else I feel like will take care of itself.
Yeah.
But my job is not to coach her. My job is to make sure that I'm motivating her in a way that makes you play harder for your teammates, to go harder, to give more, to dive on loose balls, to take charges, all of the small things. I don't get into I could be like, yo, y'all should run this. Y'all should do that. You need to do this.
Oh, I hate when parents do that. I hate when parents do that.
As most parents.
That's most parents, yeah.
Solely give my daughter energy and the team energy to make them do things different. Same concepts, but y'all going to go harder because you got a fan over here giving a lot of energy just as much as you would want
your player to give.
Yeah, that's it.
And I guess to navigate the conversation a little. Well, I mean, I'm about to go to another question.
Yeah, for sure.
It kind of deals with that a little bit. So as 3 basketball dads, I heard you bring up the word mental health.
Yeah.
So speak about like the mental health of being a basketball parent. I think that that's his own different thing. I was speaking to some guys. They don't have kids yet.
Okay.
And like, it's so easy to talk about like stoicism and composure and all these different things where you've never been tested inside a realm in which you had to really hold composure and have a lot of feelings.
Yeah.
Basketball parents, basketball dads, talk to it. You kind of hinted at the idea of like, I could say a lot. I understand what's going wrong, but my role as a dad right now is to be a dad, and I'm gonna just coach up my kid. And I'm sure that in itself even takes a lot of restraint. I don't know, Wayne, Dijuan, talk to us.
Well, I feel like, there is a lot that goes into being a athlete's parent. You're not just basketball. I'm pretty sure it's even tougher for like individual sports kids, you know what I mean? Like a golf or a tennis or something like that though. But for the most part, I look at it as like, you have to tap in mentally yourself to make sure that you're creating the best environment for your child to thrive themselves. I feel like a lot of parents get caught up in living through their child vicariously. Either be it, I want my kid to accomplish what I didn't. I want them to make the shot I didn't. I want them to take the shots I didn't. Or, for parents that didn't even play the sport, I want my kid to be like that kid that I see on social media. Like I was having a talk with a parent and she was kind of going through what she had been through, the gauntlet of those feelings. She's like, Coach, I done had to, make a phone call and talk to someone and kind of, tap into my emotions of why I felt the way I felt. And, So it's a tough environment to be in, especially now where you have so much access to watch other people's kids. And and I was, and I mentioned, I said, we all subconsciously, we all subconsciously compare. We don't do it on purpose. It's the human thing that we do because we're human. We try to be better, but we all have had a moment of strolling. Damn, in the same class. Damn, all they're doing. And now you're mentally putting pressure on yourself to put it on your child. And that's why I'm big about the mindset of you're running your own race. It's a marathon. Yeah. You know what I mean? If you understand what the terminology of Misena is, if you watch a marathon, there are multiple racers running at their own pace to finish. And the marathon is not always about winning, it's about finishing. Mm-hmm. And people get there many different ways. You see people that may be disabled, they getting there in the wheelchair, they're getting pushed, they're running, some people they get cramped up, they're crawling to the finish line. So it's like there are many different aspects and different ways to get to the ultimate goal. But I feel like mentally and health wise, we as parents have to take the stress off our kids. Don't add to it by, cussing your kid out after the game. Like I mentioned before in the previous episode, I have a 24-hour rule with my child. Is that I'm not saying anything negative or anything. We get in the car, want to talk about it? Nope. You hungry? Yep. All right, cool. Now the next day, the mindset, the emotion has dwindled. The next thing you know, he's the conversation starter now. Hey, I watched the film and I seen this, and that. Now we can have a general conversation without the emotion. Now the mental part of that is even killed. Versus where I see you see it coming out the locker room, that parent, but it's like kid putting the head down. It's like, then they got to ride all the way home with this shit. I can imagine that mental stability of that kid for the next 24 hours.
Yeah.
Let alone the parent. Because the parents are putting so much pressure for the kids to so-called make it. Now, and then that goes to the other point we're talking about. What is considered making? Making it is getting a free education.
That's it. I don't know.
What happens after that is blessings above from God. You know what I mean? If you're able to get overseas, the D League tryout, G League tryout, minor league, whatever it may be, that's just the icing on the cake.
Yeah.
Bonus.
That's the bonus. If we can just get a free education, that should be the mindset. But to get back to it and not get too far away from it, the mental is pivotal.
Yeah.
It's almost like mental is 75% and everything else is 25%.
That is.
I agree. And again, like keeping it like as a parent, and again, I ain't gonna pretend like I'm always like the best at like say the car ride. Let's say that.
I got you.
Right. When you're driving back and you be like, hey, you could have did this, you could have did X, Y, Z.
Mm-hmm.
The goal will always is what you say, and I've gotten way better at it as time has progressed per se. But I also know that like that ends up being like as a parent, one of the harder pieces. Same difference. It's hard, as we talked about what we talked about earlier. It's hard to shut up on the sideline, especially if you're a very knowledgeable parent that understands the game, and like they should be rotating weak side right now. It's hard to shut up.
Why is nobody not sitting in the hole?
It's hard to shut up.
I don't think that's a problem. I don't think if you're coaching in that instinct, if I was the head coach of that team, I wouldn't mind, because those are the same sentiments that I'll be preaching to my team. I think
just when it's personalized.
Yeah.
Oh no, and
yo, bro, hey son, you need to go get buckets.
Yeah,
you need to go shoot. Why you ain't shoot?
Oh, how about this? We let it go back to this example, but it's almost the end of the game. Shoot it. The kid pull up for three from about like
a step back 3-pointer with 5 seconds left.
That ain't it.
But we could have just like actually just won the regular game.
Yeah,
if you just made one more pass and we ain't had to go to overtime and lose to a on the road. But that's another story for another day. But nonetheless, like you do hear that a lot. I know that for me personally, like if I speak about like the mental health piece of being like a parent that has a kid that's playing the game and like the ups and downs of it. Mine is not specifically like I'm not a yeller at the game per se.
Yeah,
where like I'm like, hey, do this XYZ. Like most, I got a couple like hand signals to where like my son playing. Like I feel like you're not playing defense. Like guard up. Like get closer. You know what I mean? Like get your composure together. Like it's like very simple little things that I can like sign to him to where it's like, okay, like get yourself together a little bit.
I'm play devil's advocate with the dad.
Okay, go ahead.
I do this right here. It's one of my biggest signs, just to keep the mental,
and that's what this one is. Whether you on the bench, whether you anywhere, like it's like okay, all right, like composure, and it also means confidence.
Yeah,
like when you see like, oh yeah, like you overthinking the game a little bit. Just be confident and make just a simple decision.
Yeah,
I'm gonna tell you though, from a player perspective though, being the kids and put myself in a lot of these kids' situations is what I try to do first to analyze. Okay, Dijuan, how would that have made you feel? How would you have come into the game? How would that play with your confidence? How would you have made that decision at your 15, 14, 16-year-old self?
Yeah.
Because like for me now, you looking at it from your grown-up self.
Yeah, I can manage it now. I can manage it.
Yeah, but at 15, how does that make me feel, Dad, that I came in with 2 minutes left and you telling me to press up when I don't even feel like I should have came in with 2 minutes left? They're like,
so now,
do you understand that I should be playing way more? Do you get that point? Or how does that play with my confidence that, okay, I'm going to play up. This guy may go by me. He played 32 minutes.
Yeah. I
just getting in, just get my feet
wet. And now I'm getting taken out, Dad. And you just told me to press up. I pressed up. He went by me. What does that say to those kids? Because I try to put myself like, yo, Coach D, I don't think you get it.
That's a great point, though.
Yeah. No, I actually think that.
I hear you, Dad. But then again, like, you got to think, this coach down my neck. Soon as I make a mistake, bro, I'm turning around because I hear the sound. Or I'm always looking to the sideline because I know I don't play that much. And he ain't really rocking with me. Giving me a chance.
Or I made that one mistake.
It's like, I think he coming to get me.
So I guess I'll ask this. What is acceptable etiquette for a parent on the sideline? Either way. Yes.
I think to don't just coach your kid, coach all the kids in a positive way as much as you possibly can and try to reiterate the message that the coach is saying is the biggest point because it shows that y'all on the same page and there is no division amongst you two. For me as a parent on the other side, I look at it and I say, I only judge my daughter off 3 things.
Okay.
Energy, effort, enthusiasm about the game. I feel like makes and misses can happen. Turnovers can happen. Those are things that as a dad and as a trainer, we can go back in the lab
and get better at.
You can correct. And get better at those things. But your energy, this is something you bring. This is a you thing. Your effort is a you thing. Your enthusiasm is a you thing. That ain't got nothing to do with the coach. So if you give me those 3 E's every night, as a dad, I can look back and say, you know what? We can fix the other things, boo.
Yeah.
You may have turned it over a couple times. You may have missed a few shots. Me and you can correct those.
Yeah.
But what you did give me is what I'm always requiring.
Yep.
Your energy was high, which couldn't allow good things to happen for you and your teammates. Your effort was high. You gave extra. You rotated an extra rotation. You dunked. You jumped on a loose ball. You was winning 50-50 balls. And you was happy, enthused about playing this game that you said to me that you love.
Yep.
No matter what's going on, whether you play 1 minute, I'm looking for those 3 E's.
Yeah.
10 minutes, 50 minutes, the whole game. If you, as my kid, give me those 3 E's, I can manage to work with the rest. It's those things that are, to me, are intangibles of the game that no matter what team you play on, you're not always going to be the man. What if you are a kid they get a scholarship to come in and help this team for 5 minutes a game.
Yep.
You're going to have to still give me these 3 E's. And in college, if I come to your coach, he going to get rid of you.
Mm-hmm.
So let me just go ahead and play my position and understand this now. My job is, as a parent, is to teach you the things that you don't know or that you may not be being taught outside of when you see your coach.
Yeah.
And then when you get to that coach, I'm going to give him the utmost respect to do his job. And if things aren't right, let me do my due diligence as a parent to go back in the film and say, look, boo, when you're coming off this motion play on this handoff, you got to begin to attack downhill and make the best play for your team. I think a lot of people get caught up in saying, when you come off this handoff, bro, you need to score. You see that? You should have scored. You
jump shot or layup. Yeah.
You should have shot it. No, I always, and that's in training. I preach to kids, when you come off of this, they be like, yo, coach, what do I do? Mm-hmm. Make the best play for your team. Once you get in there, I can't tell you to be a robot and say, do this,
do that,
no.
do A, B, and C.
You got to make a read.
Make the read. I can't tell you what the read going to be.
It's going to change every time.
It's going to change. I think trainers get lost in the sauce by narrating. Mm-hmm. This is what's going to happen. This is what the play is. You need to make this pitch every single time. You need to shoot this pull-up every time or this other shot. No, when you come off the screen, kid, whether they go under, they show, they ice it, I'm telling you what to do with that.
Yeah, that's what I do myself.
You have to use your IQ.
Understanding that bottom man at the nail.
Read. And every time you know in pick and roll, you're looking at the help guy. Who is they head under the rim? That's the guy you look at. And then the second guy is the actual big in the pick and roll. That'll tell you everything you need to know.
Yep.
And then you play basketball.
Free game.
That's it.
Yeah.
I'm not telling you, come off of this.
Pull up there, shoot the floater here.
No.
Step back here.
I can't tell you that's going to be there every single time. But what I can say is, when you come off of this screen, if they go under, kid, then what a lot of coaches told me is make it a foot race. If you're not confident in just stopping and shooting that three when they go under, make it a foot race. See if that kid can beat you to the paint. Yeah. And if he can't, then you at the second level, and now you got to just make the best decision possible for your team.
Yep.
Yeah.
That's it.
Nah, I fully agree with you on that, bro. And to piggyback what you said also about just what's the best way to be a parent on the sideline? Like you're saying, you encourage them to do the uncoachable things. Like you said, it's the effort, the energy, the enthusiasm for the game. Like I always talk about, for me, I have the 2 E's is on a seesaw. If your energy and effort is low, that means your emotion is high. Take the emotion down and give me more energy and effort.
Yep.
You know what I mean? So when someone gets too high emotion, like, yo, you seesaw off. You know, you got to bounce that thing back. Like, give me less emotion and more energy, more effort. You know, it's also, I'm a big proponent of body language, though. You know what I mean? I'm always getting on mine about body language. Because and not just mine, but kids I've coached. And a lot of them say, well, coach, I ain't do nothing. The hips, being the hands on the hips, the jersey pull, all those are signs of body language, things that you're experiencing throughout the game. So I'm always, cognitive of making him aware of those things to not get caught up in that part of the game. It's going to be ups and downs in life and the game itself.
Correct.
So let me ask, I guess to continue on where we're at, what are some things that you wouldn't want a parent to say on the sidelines?
That motherfucker can't guard you. Shoot that shit.
Okay.
Shoot it.
Shoot it.
He shot. No. This is the one I don't like.
Go by him.
He shot it. You should shoot it. Nah, that's.
Honestly,
get yourself
it's the worst thing. To tell your kid to just go get buckets is the worst thing a parent can do.
Yeah. Tell your kid to make the right play. That's it. If you're going to say anything about what they're doing with their game, hey, make the right play. That should be the encouragement more than anything else. Make the right play.
Mm-hmm.
Make the right play. And I promise y'all, a lot of y'all will get recruited if you make the right play.
He's making the right play.
A lot of y'all not being recruited, free game, you don't make the right play. And in college, everybody that came from wherever they was at was the man. That's what y'all got to understand.
Everybody was that dude.
Everybody was him. So
him
make
or
the
her.
right play.
Trying to tell y'all ladies too, him or her.
Just make the right play.
Yeah.
You get in the paint, you did your job. If they collapse, make the right play. I see a lot of kids get right in the paint. It's 4 people around you, and you're still trying to score.
Yeah.
When it's wide open people right around you.
No, this is the fact. As you speak about like recruitment, with my son, again, like he's early on, he's a sophomore, so he's listening. But the feedback that I've had at coaches that's looking to recruit him in game, that came to the game, they said, "Oh, I like how he's seen this read, like the third read on it. Like he came down, he seen the weak side pass in the corner, and he did it 2 or 3 times inside the game. And those are things that like they text him like that's a high level read. And as a sophomore, we don't see a lot of sophomores making that. And I think that like making the right play, making the right read, and I think sometimes a lot of parents, let me see how I can frame this. A lot of people watch film selfishly.
Yeah.
And so like you're not watching film to understand what was the best read for the play or the best look, like what should have happened inside that. A lot of them is like, well, you should have shot that pull up or you should have drove to the rim. Not, oh, this man had he overhelped and it's somebody wide open in that corner. And that's the skip that you should be making. It's not even a skip, but that's the pass that you should be making.
Yeah.
Right there. And
that's the lift.
Right. And a lot of players don't end up having that piece, especially, again, if you don't have a coach, a trainer, or a parent that understands the game to be able to make the proper reads, whether it's the pick and roll, dribble drive, dribble handoff into the paint where you drew to, and then what should you be doing? It's not always lift over to.
Yeah.
There's better plays to make.
Sometimes it's the most simplest play to make that gets overlooked as well, you know. Mm-hmm. And I felt like, you know, and that's, and hearing their lives when we was talking about what a parent should or shouldn't be saying, or how a parent should be reacting while they're on the sideline, to where some parents may not just understand that level of basketball that's being played at that moment to make the proper comment to their child to either uplift them or help them in that moment. So, you know, it also boils down to, you know, just the basketball IQ as a parent as well. You know, if you're going to be one of them parents to try to be overly vocal, make sure you know what the hell you're talking about. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Make sure you're watching the game yourself. Make sure you're a student of the game, because what you're saying is being heard by multiple, not just yours. Yeah. You know what I mean? So
the gym loud, but
the gym is loud, but at the same time, when you're making certain comments, it can be heard by everybody. Yeah. You know, so make sure you're saying the things that make sense, not just for your child, but for their team itself. You know, don't get the other team the leg up by you saying the wrong thing out there. It's tearing your child's team down by making the wrong comment. Yeah. Or encouraging the bullshit that they don't need to be, you know, doing anyway. Yeah. So, you know, to kind of bring it all to full circle, there are multiple versions of how a parent should act. But if you're going to be that version of a parent that wants to be overly vocal, make sure that you have an IQ for what's going on, a feel for what's going on. Watch film with your child to understand them telling you what's expected of them. So now you can encourage that and, you know, encourage what they're not doing sometimes. Hey, you ain't set that back screen in 45 like you should have, you know, but parent don't know that because you ain't paying attention. Only thing you think about, you missed the shot. You missed the shot because you didn't set the screen, so you didn't get an open look to get a clean look to make the shot. You know, just things of that nature, though. So, you know, parents, to y'all, I mean, we love to see it's more parent participation in the sport than there has ever been, which is a great thing. It's good to see moms, dads, grandmas, aunties, uncles, and everything at the game, because I came from an era where you go to AAU tournament, maybe like one parent there.
Fact.
We all in a van together.
Everybody came with their coach.
So
I swear that's the only thing I'm asking Wayne. I ain't never heard, and somebody correct me if I'm wrong, I ain't never heard a parent get in the game and say, "Can you please keep him in front of you?"
You rarely hear that.
How many parents?
If it's not a basketball parent, you're not hearing that. If you're not a basketball parent, you're not hearing that.
In front of you. Control and contain.
Yes.
How many parents are teaching defensive principles to their kid, knowing that's really the segue to get to the next level?
Yep.
It's not going to be offense. A lot of y'all not going to go to college to score an enormous amount of points.
Who's telling that kid to get the help sign, see ball in, man, hit the roller, box out, like, you hear rebound, but you don't hear box out. Like, but I also get, like I say, I get it. Like, I was talking to a mom. She's like, I didn't play basketball. I'm not a basketball person, but I've learned the game by watching my daughter and watching film with her. That's big. That's showing that she's growing as a parent as well as the kid is growing. Sometimes y'all parents have to grow with your child with the IQ of the game. It is what it is. Like I don't want to take nothing from no parent, because it's a blessing for a child to have parents at their game. Because like I say, we traveled back in the day with nothing. Van, 3 coaches, maybe one parent that just love to travel all the time, or maybe
had the bag.
Had the bag.
Might would have sponsored our team. They own for the ride.
Yeah, Dijuan, I guess to throw it to you, make sure that you kind of answer. What would you say is something that, as a coach, you don't want to hear from a parent from the sidelines?
Offense. Okay. I can't stand for a parent to only talk offense from the sidelines, because that just makes your kids selfish. And I say that to everybody. Talking offense to the kids makes it be selfish, because it's not the kid's fault from a coaching perspective that the kid is trying to definitely honor their dad or mom and do as they're saying to do. Because at the end of the day, like you said, they go in the car with their mom and dad after this game is over with. You know what I mean? And a lot of times, if I'm a kid and I put my kid in their shoes, I just want to make my dad proud. I just want to make my mom proud.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? With the way that I played. Win, lose, or draw, I want you to say you proud of the way I played and what
That's
I did.
all a kid really want, bro.
You know what I'm saying? So from that sentiment, I understand. What I would try to tell parents is 2 things. Reiterate the message that's coming from the head coach, because that aligns with your kid making the best decisions for the team concept. You know what I'm saying? And 2, support defense more than you do offense. If you honestly want your kid to be better and want them to succeed and want to get your kid to the next level, you will preach more about defense than you will about offense, because it's a lot of talented kids. And to be frank and honest, they're not coming to get your high school kid for offense when I can go in the portal and get a 23-year-old.
That's already there.
That's already there. So if I'm going to pride myself, I'm going to pride myself on the 3 E's: energy, effort, and enthusiasm. You know what I'm saying? And playing defense. And I will get myself an opportunity based off just that.
Yeah.
For instance, his son has an elite skill, and that's shooting. So as long as I bring energy, effort, and enthusiasm, and I got a flamethrower, that gives me more opportunity to what I'm already doing.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So parents, preach defense. Preach the same message that the head coach is preaching, even if you don't agree, because it keeps everybody in a tight knit. It keeps everybody on the same page. It keeps you from having bad apples. Once you get in that car and you start preaching something totally different, you're going to create division with the team, because your son or daughter is going to listen directly to you and not the coach.
Especially if you're saying what they want to hear in the moment to make them feel better.
Yeah,
correct.
I love.
You should have shot that. You should have shot that thing 3 more times.
From the 3-point line, and I think a lot of parents are oblivious to that part. Like, because you've seen your son make 3 shots this game, you think he's supposed to be a shooter, but he's shooting 14%. So he might have made 3 that game, but the scout report's still gonna say let him shoot.
Let him shoot.
And y'all thinking let him shoot means keep shooting.
Nah,
it's Coach Lewis told me, Dijuan, it's the reason why that kid is open.
Oh no, that's the old school saying, but you open for a reason.
It's the reason why he's open, and it's not because he can shoot.
You open for a reason.
So I guess maybe we'll make this the last one. We done win a little bit. This has been a fun conversation.
Oh, for sure.
So time kind of flying, but I'll lend this as the last one. I was at a game on Friday, and again I seen Trey, not the one that sits on the couch with us, but he got a kid, Chad. I think he's going to Charleston. Yeah, he's going to Charleston, but above that, like he has a kid that's a senior. He has a kid that's a sophomore. Mm-hmm. That's me and Wayne's kid's age, but he also has a he's like 4 or 5 year old, or whatever. Mm-hmm. And I was like, oh man, you hit the reset button, and I said, you about to go through the whole thing again? And he said, yeah, well, I'm gonna do it a little different this time. And I think that lends to a really good question, to where so I know you might not have been like on the male circuit per se, but you've seen kind of like what it looks like on the circuit and going all the way through it. And like we've been on the circuit per se. And I'll ask, as a parent / like a new parent, what are some things that you would do differently than what you've seen or what you have done this time around if you had a 5 / 6 year old that's hopping into the circuit?
That's dope, because my son is 3. He'll be 4 in April. And I'm not going to lie, I've learned from so many different people as fathers that mm-hmm. went through mm-hmm. it before me.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And I watch, I analyze, I learn, I take different gems, what to do, what not to do, how to go about it. And I will honestly say my son will be a diamond in the rough type of kid, because he's not going to be the biggest. Mm-hmm. He's not going to be the tallest. Mm-hmm. So I have to pride my son in the intangibles of the game more so than anything. So the intangibles of basketball more so than anything. And I think because of what I've seen, I'll keep them in social media, but away, where I control the narrative of what they see, what they don't see. What you see, what you don't see.
Yeah.
And I'll control the work ethic up until he understands this is a way of life. This is how I'm going to eat. If I want anything out of life, my dad has showed me this has to be earned. Mm-hmm. No one is giving me anything. I'm going to have to take everything there is that I want. Mm-hmm. And when I do that, then I'll let him go. And once he understands that, everything after that point, to me, I've done my job, and it's up to him to now take what I've taught, and you have to put that into play. Mm-hmm. And whatever we get out of that is what I'll accept. Now, do I have the resources and the relationships to help him along the way? Yes, but I think every dad is going to exercise those options along the way, as long as the kid is given what they need to give.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But I can't give you something, bro, that I had to earn that you're not earning. I'm not one of those dads that's going to do that, because that ain't going to do nothing but put you in a bad situation that you done got something you didn't earn.
Yeah.
And now you'll be out on your ass in the next couple of years. So
yeah, rubber hit the road.
I've been actually able to learn a lot from different dads, different perspectives, look at how they started, where they got their kid to, and those different measurables. Like I use Sherrod McCormick with Little Rod. Mm-hmm. I see Rico, the way he deals with JJ. And these are guys that I've seen in 2nd, 3rd, 4th grade.
Yeah.
Right.
And now in 9th grade.
Yeah.
And so I got a really good circle to look at a variety of different guys.
Yeah.
And then I can take bits and pieces of everybody and take bits and pieces of what not to do.
And what to do.
And exercise that with my own son. Understanding that no matter what you do, he has to earn it.
Yeah.
That's the biggest thing.
Wayne?
I think for me, one thing I would do differently is help him understand. Well, for one, I would take back the mindset I had that there's more time to get better. If that makes sense to you. So at certain points in time, they're younger, like, well, I ain't got to go there. You know, he's only 5, he's only 6, he's only 7. And I remember
only 10.
He's only 10. So you're going to keep saying that to a certain point in time to where, he 18.
Is knocking at the door.
Knocking the door.
Okay.
And I'll never forget this advice. And shout out to Mrs. Smith, Miss Smith, Ishmael Smith's mom. We were sitting there having a conversation one day, and she said, Wayne, I know he wants it for himself, but you got to make him want it even more. So, I mean, you have to actually manage more. Don't just sit there and let him make your schedule when you go to the gym. Now, we going to the gym. Now, we going to the weight room. Now, we're going to run. You know, I would have did that a little bit earlier versus kind of sitting back and not allow him to come to me and say, Dad, I want to be good at basketball. And that's what we took off to the next step. But he was always a gym rat. Always wanted to go to the gym. Always wanted to get better. So, though that made it easy to kind of fast track a certain part of it. But, you know, just looking back at it, I wish I would have not made the notion of he's this age, he has time, you know, and I felt like I would have implemented more conversation and film study at an earlier age than what we did start doing, you know, so just really building the IQ and a feel for the game earlier, putting more emphasis on the body itself at a younger age too, you know what I mean? Like, you know, hey, man, you do get push
skinny kids.
We got skinny kids. You know, you talking about you do get push-ups? Oh, you did? You know, I ain't checking. Should have been there. You know, hey, books on the back, getting 10. And you know what I mean? Type of mindset though. But I feel like I can't take it back and go back with him. But if I had another opportunity, I would look at it differently. Yeah. But I don't want to take away anything that we have done up until this point because it's been a blessing to actually be along for the journey. I think that's been the beauty of it more than anything else is that our relationship as a father and a son has prospered for our time that we've got to spend together in the gym, around the game, going to games, just talking about the game, just having that common interest that will always be a connection between us is something that I never would take back. But, you know, just looking, and like you say, you're looking at other parents and how they raise their sons and on the court type of thing, you know, looking at some of the things I would never do, you know, some of like I would never chastise my son in a sense in public.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
And I guess to piggy to where you're at, there's also, as much as there's great examples of what to do, there's also amazing examples of what not to do. And you see those inside like blaring examples as well on the circuit.
Oh, yeah.
I guess if I'm thinking through it, I'd probably say one, I always have like the love-hate relationship with coaching as a dad and coaching my son, in which I think that, again, if I was to redo it, I've said this a couple of times. I don't know if I would have coached him again because of, I think that there's a liberty of a certain level of, as crazy as this might sound, selfishness that you can have with your kid when you're not coaching. But when you are coaching, you have to worry about like 10 to 12 other kids at the same time. And sometimes like, you know, like your kid might kind of like, you want to focus, but like, if you're a good enough coach, there's the daddy ball thing. And you almost have to like.
Can I be honest with you? Not to cut you off. I advise every parent that's out here, hear me clearly. If you had the opportunity to play daddy ball, do it.
Think so?
I hate to say that, but if I am put in that situation, I'm going to commit myself to making sure my son is ready. Period, point blank.
And that's not necessarily considered daddy ball, though.
Yeah, it's not really daddy ball, but if I have the opportunity to coach my son, why wouldn't I make sure I can put him in the best situation possible? And I'm going to be fair.
Balancing out that part would be something that I would think about as a parent.
Yeah.
I think I saw QJ with Gron. We played against y'all, I think, in 4th grade or 5th grade. It was an Atlanta tournament.
Yeah.
The one thing I can pride and I can hang my hat when it comes to Ed Cook's kids, shout out to Ed, I ain't no hater, is they play with a different level of toughness and a different level of grit. And I see that with the kids moving forward as they have gotten to high school. They still have that grit, that toughness, and an IQ about defense that you cannot explain. That the kids who have played for him understand what it takes to be really good defensively, know what it takes to be tough, and know what it takes to be gritty. And I can appreciate that from a player perspective, also from a coach perspective, because a lot of coaches can't get the best out of the kids that they have.
Yeah.
And for me, when a coach can tap into things that the kid never knew that they had, is a great sign of success for me. So I want to apply him for that, because in the short time that I've seen him coach the different teams that he's had, they haven't been prided on offensive side of the ball.
Yeah.
He's had teams of a bunch of different versions of like ability and talent. But if it's one thing that he do, he know how to win, and it's always on the defensive end. So I gotta definitely give him his flowers for that. He does a wonderful job of teaching that side of the basketball like no other, and they take the DNA of him, and they play tough, they play gritty. They're a team that wins 50-50 balls, and do the things that don't always show up on that stat sheet. So that's the reason, honestly, I recruited DJ, because he understands what it takes to win tough games. Not games that you blow people out, but what does it feel like to be in those games where it's possession by possession? You need stops. And I like kids who believe in defense more than they believe in offense.
Yeah. That's definitely the way you gotta have it, though. You definitely gotta have kids with grit, teach kids gritty. Like my coach says, defense is nasty.
It is.
Yeah, and
everybody don't like that.
Everybody don't like it, though. But when you can have that mindset that it's nitty gritty, that thing is nasty, it's ugly, it stank. You know what I mean? Like all those things that make you curl your lip up and hang your nose up. You know what I mean? Those are things that defense is about. And when you have a group of kids that really have bought into that and understand it, man, it makes coaching them a lot easier. You're gonna lose some for sure, but you're gonna win a lot more.
Yeah.
I think we try to do the same thing over at TU. When I was there, by myself, and when Q came over, it was like, if
half the practices is shit.
If your coach is known for being an intense person, my kid's going to exemplify the same thing on the court defensively.
I said the same thing. I feel like every team takes the identity of the head coach.
Yeah. So like if
the head coach can't lead, how can I expect the kids to lead if I'm not a leader?
Nah, you're right about that.
If I don't bring energy, how do I expect my team to be this team that's just like off the chain with energy when I don't exude the same thing?
Nah, it's a fact. And I guess as we wind down, we finish off the conversation. I guess this will be where we can land at. There has been a couple battles between all three of us inside the battlefield. I think probably one of I guess it's not even necessarily like exemplify like specifically one. Just talk about like being on the field as coaches against each other. And the adjustments, again, you might have came from 18 down and 1-1. I can't remember if we had that Atlanta one. We switched gyms. Right?
The lights went off.
Yeah, we switched gyms one time. It was a bunch of things happening. I had a good little team.
Bubba Henry.
Yeah, we had Bubba. We had Carlton over there. We had AC over there. Huh?
Y'all had me beat that game.
Nigga, I know. You be saying shit to me.
I was told.
That's one of them. Yeah. Listen, y'all had a group too. Y'all had Sequel, y'all had Amari, y'all had Sherrod, y'all had but I had Bari, I had Q, I had Bubba, I had AC. Like I had Colin. I had a good little group as well.
And all y'all had size. I ain't had nothing but the damn pit bulls in the goddamn backyard ready to go.
In the game, man. Sequel and Bubba and Colin, AC, because it's good to see all those kids that they name now are being very successful in their own right. Starting to write their own journey. And I know where they came from. So shout out to all those kids that's continuing now to keep going.
Yeah. Nah, you're right about that, though. Now, we used to have some battles, though. But I ain't going to need front. For me, my adjustment was always dealing with y'all two teams' height. Because
we both had some height.
I didn't have the bigs or the length. I just had the, like I said, the pit bulls that
yes, sir.
They're gonna go.
Nas.
Got Nas. I got Nas, Elijah Boyd up top, baby, going crazy.
How Elijah Boyd doing?
He doing good. He down in Houston, man, doing his thing, bro.
Okay. So now he in Houston.
He done grew
in Georgia, right?
Nah, he was.
They went straight to Houston.
Straight to Houston. He done grown up, face looking all grown, little mustache now.
A little taller.
Yeah. He done grew up a little bit.
He
and
look
everything.
like he about like between 5'10", 6 foot.
Yeah.
He's somewhere in there.
Dang, that's what's up.
But his dad, like I grew up with his dad. His dad was short all his life until he got to high school too. Yeah. Well, I mean, you seen the same thing with QJ. QJ, like I didn't grow until sophomore year. Same difference with him.
Yeah,
he my height now. So like he
6 foot.
Q like
6'2".
Yeah. Damn. Yeah, he literally my height.
See, I did the opposite. I grew early. So I was 6 feet in middle school.
I grew 9.
I was 6 feet in middle school. I finished out high school at 6'1".
Yeah.
So, but Zion, he had a growth spurt, so he went from 5'9" to 6'2" as well.
You now, Wayne. Yeah, we got to look on Toya's side of the family to see where height came from.
But I mean, I got tall uncles though. You know what I mean? I got tall uncles. My mom was tall. My mom was 6 feet.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So she was tall though. You know what I mean? So I mean, we all knew that it was gonna come eventually. Like I said, it's a marathon, bro. You know, everybody want to be tall. Then it's better to be tall now.
He gets to 6'3.5", 6'4" when it's all said and done. I think
he'll be.
But that's what they're saying.
6'6", 6'7".
According to the doctors, that's what they said. They put him at 6'4", 6'5". Yeah, we'll see.
We got the same thing, but I mean, more than anything, bro, it's finally a blessing to see them not be still the small kids in the class. Because we were just talking about this like 2 years ago. Like, bro, when our boys gonna grow? Like the whole 2027 done grew.
Yeah.
We were just sitting there looking at like, dang.
Too many. Oh, well, around here, they probably the tallest of the kids that I get a chance to see on the regular. Besides like Bubba, who I expected to be tall.
Yeah.
See, Barry said Barry's about 6'5".
McCormick, T-Sean is about 6'4".
But his dad tall too, though.
Yeah, his dad tall too.
Mm-hmm. His dad's
those kids about.
I'm looking to see here the growth spurt soon though. Trey over at Hickory Ridge, his dad's 6'6", 6'7".
Yeah,
Big E played at
really good.
Williams, his nephew.
Yeah,
Eric Williams was a 6'8", bro. He was
Trey is really good. Shout out Trey, man. We're playing on Tuesday.
Yo, Trey done had a hell of a goddamn come up this year.
Hell of a year.
He's the problem. What's the other guard?
Braylon.
Over there? Braylon. Yeah, Braylon. You got Braylon. They got Braylon over there. Like you said, the 2026 kids.
Parker Watkins.
Parker been hurt all year.
He hurt.
But he's a problem though.
Oh, he's back.
He's a problem though. Parker's a problem.
I don't know. All right, I ain't put my parlay in yet.
Yeah,
I got to think about it now.
Yeah, put the parlay in.
Yeah, I got to think about it
because they're gonna make it to the playoffs. Now it's gonna be dependent on what they can get from him.
Matching up with T-Sean.
T-Sean is hurt.
T-Sean broke a toe.
Broke a toe. So now
I was about to line it up. I was about to say then you got
Cruz and so
you got Cruz and Trey. They matching up. You got Braylon matching up with
Braylon comes off the bench, but he does a really.
Him and Zeke come off the bench and they just come off with
Zeke no longer plays for them.
Oh no!
Oh wow!
You breaking too much news right now. All right, guys.
What he doing? He making sure I put it in. I get the right point spread and the right parlay for the game come Tuesday. Because
they play 7 kids.
Damn. They do.
QJ, y'all play on Tuesday, don't y'all?
Yeah, we play.
We missed the game.
We'll be at West Charlotte.
I'd have been out there if it wasn't for that.
That's gonna be a big.
We play at West Charlotte Tuesday. Then we got the senior
Chambers
night.
at West Charlotte.
And we got senior night Friday against Mallard Creek.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's definitely gonna be an adjustment and everything though, going forward. And I'm just looking forward to everything, man. I'm looking forward to.
Me too. I'm looking forward to Tuesday to see what kids respond, what kids don't. You know what I'm saying? A lot of times I tell kids is if you just bring energy to the game, then a lot of times the results will follow. But if you don't play with energy, you can't expect really nothing after that because you're just not giving it everything you got. So yeah, I'm definitely looking toward that. I think a lot of coaches that say, you know, playing hard is a new skill. That's very true because kids just don't do that.
They're too cool, bro. They're just too cool, man. I don't know what it is, bro.
They cool. They cool.
Hey, you know, have you ever noticed that these kids don't even warm up hard no more?
No, they don't.
They don't even break a sweat.
Coach, dude.
They don't even break a sweat and warm up. I mean,
a bunch of
there's only a few teams. Now, I ain't gonna lie to you. The few teams that do break a sweat, they get a good workout. And I'm speaking from the boys and the girls side. Like it's a few teams. I look, you know, try to be mean, mugger. Don't turn my back and look over sometimes. Like, oh damn, they get it in.
You see them North Met girls pop out.
Hey, they get it in.
They coming out with them slides,
everything,
shell drill and everything. Get in shell drill.
And I be wanting to get back to what I did back when I was at the boys. Yeah, I want to get a warm up going on like we should do I used to do for my AU team. We talking about I'm out there sweating with them. We rip throughs, come through, kick, sideline, boom.
I would do the same thing, but you know that's where it comes down to like sitting your ass down.
That part.
Oh yeah.
Not saying too much.
Yeah. And you know,
first year, second year, third year. Eventually, I'm sure, and I'm putting it in there. I guarantee you that Dijuan, he will be coaching inside the area as a head coach coming soon. I see it for one.
I will only be a head coach in this area if I can do a private school because it's more leeway, it's more freedom. The facilities are a lot better for these kids.
Yeah, a lot more control over the situation too.
But as y'all see, he didn't say he wouldn't. All I'm saying, I'm just putting it in the air. All I'm saying is that I'm gonna see him as a head coach soon at a high school level. I see the same for Wayne as well at the high school level inside the Charlotte area.
It's going down.
Whether that's CMS, whether that's private, XYZ. But nonetheless, I think that this has been a fun conversation, a great conversation, informative conversation with one of the biggest, if not best trainers inside the area. Dijuan Harris, he's trained from the Rob Dillinghams, the Jaden Bradleys, the Aiden Holloways, to the Steph Currys. The Steph Currys, they done came and pulled up and eat on them. And again, Wayne, who his resume speaks for himself from like playing at the high school independents. He done went and had the experience from the JUCO to the college level to the pro level to where he's established inside what he does. And again, I'm just here commentating, hosting as best as I can. Trying to make sure that these guys have a good conversation. Trey, he had to dip out early. You see, we done moved chairs a little bit. But
so last but not least, then, who we got for Super Bowl?
Oh, Chiefs is 2nd and 9. Chiefs got the ball.
Oh, it started already.
Yeah, Philly.
Oh, we gotta get it.
Had a whole possession that they gave away.
Oh man, I had the first drive touchdown by Saquon Barkley on one of my parlays. Well, that's gone.
That's gone. 2nd and 9 with Kansas City, baby.
Let's go.
All right,
I just don't think you can bet against Patrick Mahomes. He always finds a way to win.
I want Jalen to win, but I wouldn't bet against
Patrick Mahomes.
So from coaches to casuals, grassroots to the league, this is Open Gyms. And like that, we out. Peace.
Yes, sir.
Peace.